shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Keep on checking in, family. Come on in the room. This is going to be exciting. We'll let the song go just a bit. We are so excited about this special day. I see so many of you in the room checking in. All right. I see you checking in from all over. Thank you so much. I see people said they rushed over here from my last live. Thank you. Hello, Las Vegas. Sunshine Gold. It's always good to see you. A member of the private group. Ashe, Patrick. Good to see you. I want to come on camera in a few minutes. Come on in the room. So good to see everybody. Salute to you, Soul Tribe. Hi, 614. That's around Columbus, Ohio. Grand rising to you too, Dr. Cheryl Watkins. It's good to see you. Is this Dr. Cheryl? Victorville, California's in the house. Hi, Jackie. It's great seeing you. New Zealand's in the house. Hi, Face the Nation. You enjoying that music? Yes, it's an exciting time. A good time to be alive, family. Electric slide. Peace and strength and wholeness, whole vibrations to you, Brother Kevin. Grand rising, Sister Teresa. Pennsylvania's in the house. I see you. Come on in the room. We're at 142 in the house. Hit the like button as you enter the room, soul family. This will give you time to go ahead and get something to drink, get you a pen and notepad, because this is going to be deep. It's going to be juicy, family. Yes. I'm so glad you're here too. Greetings. Lake Tahoe's in the house. You're welcome, Sister Teresa. Oh. Leo's in the house. Greetings. Hey, Joanne Jackson. You ready for this juicy news, Sister Jackie? That's Sister Jackie or Brother Jackie? Jackie, you ready for this juicy news? I am too. Yes. Come on in the room.
Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising.
Hi, Cheryl from Colorado. Hello again, Jackie. Couldn't be more ready for some good news. All right, Jerry. Grand evening, chat. Grand evening, Vixen. Greetings, Sister Sabrina. All right, soul family, come on in the room. Remember that song? If you grew up in the church, we used to sing, come on in the room. Hello, Texas. Come on in the room. Are y'all saying no audio? Can you hear me? Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all my scriptions. Gives me all my medicine in my room. Yes, I've heard that the med beds are coming out in April. You can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I heard that the med beds were coming out. People are saying they can hear me. April 1st. That's what I heard. And I'm going to bring somebody on to talk about the med beds. I know somebody that actually has a med bed. He's going to come on the show and introduce us to his med bed, but I've also heard from others. Okay, that said that the med beds will be out in April. One of my good friends said he's going to connect me to somebody who works with the people that are releasing the med beds. Okay, you heard what I said about med beds, okay? You danced to every beat. Somebody heard it was April the 2nd. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. Rise up, soul tribe. Freedom's on the way. So, hey, let me come on a camera. I'm so grateful to see all of you all. Greetings, freedom, freedom. Greetings, John. Hello, Amelia. Hey, Soul Tribe. Maryland's in the house. We're at 167. We are at 167 people. Welcome, Soul Tribe. You can't hear me? Inner World says she can't hear me. Can the rest of you hear me? Hello, this is Dr. Kia Pruitt. This is the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. Let me know that you can hear me. Somebody saying they can hear me talk about the med beds. April 1st is New Year Day. Absolutely. Exciting times. Yes. Yes, you can hear me. Oh, great, great. So we do have an excellent show today. Before we talk to our special guest, I see some questions in the room. So let me go on and say this is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is Thursday, March the 26th, 2026. The time is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am so excited about this golden era, the great awakening, this new year that's approaching on April 1st. I'm happy to see everybody saying they can hear me loudly and clear. So before we get into our special segment for the day, I'm going to answer some questions. The number one question right now is, what are we going to do about med beds? So there's a gentleman that I know here in Jacksonville who actually ran for public office. And although he didn't make it, he made some very strong connections. And one of those connections he made was he connected with someone that are very familiar with the med beds and med bed release. And he told me that he has one, a med bed, and he's ordering others. It's somebody that I really trust. I see Duval in the house. Some people had to close YouTube and reopen in order to hear me. I get it. So he has med beds. He has one and he has a few on the way. He's opening up his med bed center. I see 200 people in the house. Keep checking in. In the meantime, if you have a desire to get some of the products that I use to help like flush out toxins and to get rid of parasites, then some of you have heard me talk about his website. You can go to the website at Holistic, like honey, Holistic, simply holistic.shop, where he has black seed oil, raw manuka honey, shilajit, black seed oil here with raw honey and cacao. I got some of that. That's my favorite right here. Also, he has black seed oil by itself, and he has peppermint wild oregano oil. He has wild oregano oil and black seed oil, and these are parasite cleanses. After you take these, then a couple hours later, you'll need to take some, what do they call it? What is that? It is a black powder. Can't think of the name of it. Gosh, it'll come to me. So some people have reported, since we've been talking about this product, that they've seen little worms come out of their bowels. So it's working. Yes, activated charcoal. Thank you so much, Sister. Activated charcoal. After you take the products like the wild oregano, because the wild oregano actually unalives or kills the parasites, but then they release eggs. And you have to deal with something that's going to take care of the eggs. That's where the activated charcoal comes in. You all already know this good stuff. Hey, Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. So the gentleman that has these products is the one who has med beds. And he's going to come on the show after he offers me. He says he's going to let me experience it. And we're going to film live from his studio with the med bed, so you all can see what it looks like, what the med bed looks like, the process that I'm going to go through. I'm so excited. And then he's going to come on the show and talk to you all and let you know all the wonderful things that he has going on in his business of healing. So what else? Some of the other questions before we get into the show today. When is the RB going to happen? Okay, the revaluation of currencies, it's looking really good. Let me tell you something I told my private group the other day. We got a message. It was actually an advertisement that I was able to capture or get. You know, people send me things and sometimes I stumble across things, but there was a currency dealer who actually, a world-renowned currency dealer, also a coin dealer and a world-renowned currency dealer, that said that there was a country who now is doing well. I'll just go ahead and spill the beans. Venezuela. They said Venezuela is doing well. And I reported to my private group that I don't care what the world is saying that Donald Trump allegedly stole oil from Venezuela. That's not what the Venezuelan government said. And we reported it to the private group when it happened. The government said Donald Trump bought oil from Venezuela. And with the resources that he bought the oil, they're using that to revalue their currency. That's what the government of Venezuela said. We reported that to the private group. We tell private group things that come out right hot off the press. So this was weeks ago when Maduro allegedly first got captured. The Venezuelan government was saying, no, he bought the oil and we're using that money and those resources to back our currency, to revalue. And then most recently, like about a week or two ago, I reported to my private group that this major currency dealer said, hey, you all, Venezuela's government is doing well. The country is stable. The GDP is up. So since the GDP is up and they're rebuilding the infrastructure and they have economic policies in place, we recommend, hi, Sister Cynthia, thank you for being a new member, that you get foreign currency from us. That's what they said. We recommend you get foreign currency from us. Y'all want to hear it? Then they said, get foreign currency and stack up because the Venezuelan bolivar is slated to revalue. I almost fell out my chair when I saw that. So to the person who asked, when is the revaluation going to happen? Very soon. Somebody wants to know where's my private group. I'll show you. My private group, we discussed that. Breaking news, we talk about currency revaluations. We talk about other opportunities in which to invest. We discuss, just all type of things. Oh, we have the banking protocol for what you need to take to the banks when you exchange your currencies. And the reason why we talk about those things in private is because everybody does not believe in this information, and that's okay. And we want people to feel comfortable with the intel that we give. But for those who desire to know about revaluation of currencies, global currency reset, we have a private group. We also showed in our private group all the currencies that have been unveiled, the new currencies in the different countries that have been unveiled. So I'm just telling you this, family, to let you know, I'm answering your questions, that yes, it's going to happen very, very soon. For a currency company to say you should get foreign currency and get it from us and stack. And I'll tell you why that's important, because I had offered or extended an offer for somebody from Banknote World to come on our show to talk about currencies revaluing, or at least to offer foreign currencies for the Soul family at a discount. And he said, well, they can call me, but I can't come on the show because this was just like a month or two ago. He said, I can't come on the show because we're all currency dealers are under a non-disclosure agreement, is what he said. And we cannot speak about this publicly. We can't say that any currency is going to revalue. We cannot say anything about a global currency reset. We're on a non-disclosure agreement. So I appreciate you offering me, but we could get in legal trouble. So this is also why when you go to some websites, it'll say some of those currencies in which you're invested is demonetized because they cannot say anything until they get the signal. Well, there's this particular currency company that came out recently. See if I can find it. And we're going to get to the show, family. I just wanted to answer your questions right quick. They came out recently and said you should get Venezuelan bolivar. I'll see if I can find it. If I don't see it, hold on. I will get it to you after the show. But my private group has seen that. They have seen that particular, and they've seen a lot of other announcements. But while I'm finding that, let me answer your other questions. Hello, hello. You tried to join the show, but your credit card wouldn't let you. Oh, I'm sorry, Brother David. You tried to join the private group. You had the same conversation, Fireback Radio Station. Hey, Fireback Radio Station, Brother Marquise. Brother Marquise. Is it Marquise Jackson? Brother Marquise, he interviewed me on his show, Fireback Radio Show. Yeah, so you know they couldn't tell anybody about the revaluation of currencies. But now you believe it? Yep. And we know it's going to happen. But now Marquise Washington, sorry, Brother Marquise, he interviewed me on Fireback. Go subscribe to Fireback Radio. Drop your link in the show, in the chat, Fireback. So the currency dealer actually said, get Venezuelan Bolivar. And then last summer, there was a billionaire, Warren Buffett, that said the dollar is going to hell, invest in foreign currencies. Anybody saw it? Anybody see? You can look that one up. And we told the Soul Tribe, the private membership group back then, to pay attention. If a billionaire says get foreign currencies, follow the money. But we already knew the dollar was going to hell or declining in value, right? Any other questions before we get started? What'd you say? Military tribunals, military med beds are not for sale. So could you please give a more specific description of the type of healing bed your association has? You know, whenever I say something, I say it after it's been vetted. And I get it, you're new, Prince. So you may think that medical med beds are not for sale based on what you know, but did I not tell you that this person is well connected? And that these are med beds, according to him. So the only description I'm going to give you, my darling, is what I have. And when he comes on, which he says is going to come on very soon, you can vet it and see if this is the one for which you're looking. Can I give you more specific description? I will give it to you later, okay? I understand. I do understand the hesitation. We've been told so much. The Bolivar Digitalis is very cheap on banknote world, Brother Larry Bolton said. Hey, Brother Larry Bolton. Banknote world will take a prepaid card, okay? Any other questions? So yes, it's the research is my understanding that we're very close. And we know that because the military is right now making very serious, significant mass arrests. Also, we know that Iran was a big issue for Iraq because Iran was supplying Iraq with oil and pretty much controlling Iraq. But President Trump had said last summer he was going to deal with Iran. So we weren't surprised with this war that's happening. And some postulate that even though it looks like Trump is colluding with Israel, what's really happening is he's using this, that's what some postulate, this war for Iran to completely annihilate Israel. That's what we're hearing. But we always heard Israel was saved for last. Almost everything is ready. We saw the Supreme Court of the United States overturn the Chevron doctrine, saying that the government had too much power. We see the government being downsized. We see state-sponsored banks operating independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system, right? So all that's happening. We have almost 300 people in the chat. Come on, family. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Hey, Larry. Because it's my fault, I told some people 6 o'clock and others 7. That's completely my issue, and I apologize. I'm sincerely sorry for my mistake. Any other questions before we get started? Hey, to our moderator, come on. We got 264 people in the room. Any other questions? While I see who's all coming, people are texting me, email me, let me know they're coming in. I'll see if I can if I see that membership video. Not the membership video, but if I can find a link to that group. So for those that don't know about a revaluation of currencies, what's happening is that all the countries' currencies that have been devalued through war or sanctions, those currencies now are going to be reinstated back to their pre-war value. And the reason why it's happening right now is because we're in the middle of a global currency reset where the whole financial system is resetting or restarting. At the end of every empire, they rack all the people in power, rack up the debt, print as much money as they can, and buy themselves assets. And then they crash the system and move to a new system. That's called the crack up boom. You can look that up, crack up boom. I was trying to see if I could find that video for you all. I'm going to have to find it in a little minute because it's almost 7 o'clock. We have some people that are checking in. We're going to get started in just a few minutes because I said 7. While I look for that video, any other questions? The med beds are a real thing. Thank you. And they are here for good. Absolutely. Do I know why Andy Schectman purchased so much XRP? Tell us, Sister Cynthia. Tell us. XRP is going to be a part of the new system, the new financial system. We should bring Andy Schectman on and have him answer the question. Yes, get ready, get ready, get ready. Hit the like button as you enter the chat, family. Question, are we still looking to get at least $355,000 per Zim bond note? Brother Jerry, I have never been told an exact amount. Nobody knows, none of us know the exact amount. And anybody that has that type of information cannot tell you, or else they could be held for treason. So the only thing we do know is that the Zim bond the note is actually a bond. And that's why at the top left-hand corner, it says, this is a promise to pay the bearer upon demand. And it's on government bond paper. Some people have said 1-to-1, but if you get $100 trillion note, a bond, are you going to be paid $100 trillion? I'm not sure. That's a whole lot. How much exactly? I really don't know. That would be nice if it was $355,000 per Zim. But as Chief Mack postulates or suggests, most of us feel that the place from which that money is coming is actually your birth certificate bond. Remember, we're all really rich. We're wealthy. We're all trust fund babies because at our birth, they created a birth certificate, securitized it, put it on the stock market. It was accruing interest, and all that went into a trust for each of us. And that trust was supposed to be used to offset our living expenses. But in fact, what happened was these people in power would give us fake loans, have us to sign off on them, and we're actually giving them power of attorney unbeknownst to us when we get a mortgage loan, a student loan, and all that. They never lent us money. It was credit. They lent you credit. Why? They lent you, parentheses, credit. But we're the real creditors. What they did was they stole money out of our birth certificate bonds, out of our trust, and paid themselves and made us pay them back with interest, which is unlawful and treasonous. By the way, that's the reason why these student loan companies are held up in litigation right now, because they've committed treason. So we have billions of dollars, if not more, in credit, according to let me just take this nose ring out, it's bothering me, according to our birth certificate bond. So Chief Mack and others, and Chief Mack has a lot of information. He went through classes, those series 1, series 7, series classes that people that are in the financial industry go through. And he's gone through all of those steps to actually become part of the Republic. And I've met some of his friends that have done it. These people have badges that says they work with the Republic. And this is why when they go to court, they're not touched. And many of them were able to actually access their trust, but they don't speak. I'm not saying Chief Mack has, but a lot of people have. They can't speak publicly about that. A lot of people are under non-disclosure agreements. So anyway, you're going to have access to that money. And some people say that is where this money is coming from when you go to exchange your currencies. Where else? How are they going to give people billions of dollars? We already have money in our trust. Brother Larry Bolton knows what he's talking about. I met him. The birth certificate is very powerful when you have control of the surety, when you have control of the straw man. Everybody doesn't speak about that information out loud or publicly. 4 more minutes, we'll get started. I will get started in about 2 more minutes, okay? Yes, they're crooks. Oh, I do see Dr. LaTonia. I see the doctor, the good doctor in the back. I'm so excited. Y'all gonna have to control me. Y'all gonna have to tell me to calm down, Pruitt. I've been watching her and following her, and I just be quiet. I don't say anything. But I'm so excited and honored. And we can't keep the good doctor waiting. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask 1 or 2 more questions. Amen, Brother Larry. And we know her. We want her tribe to come and join us as well. Absolutely, Sister Janine. Birth certificates and social securities, they stole from us. The social security number is an account number. Am I right, Brother Larry Bolton? Thank you, Face the Nation, for subscribing to Chief Mack's channel. They hating, throwing in commercials on our live. Oh, yeah, it's about to be a good live, family. We have 330 people in the room. Keep coming in the room. Chime in. Let us know what you're thinking. So the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine, limiting the powers of the United States government. That's why we're under a partial government shutdown now. Arrests are happening. That's why President Donald Trump just sent Homeland Security to all the major airports to help TSA. What do you think they're helping TSA with? Homeland Security? Why did he send Homeland Security to help TSA? Because there are people that's trying to get out of here, run, flee the country because they've been implicated on the Epstein files and other things. By the way, there's a gentleman that replaced Christy Neem over in the Department of Homeland Security. That gentleman is a part of the Cherokee tribe. So all of you that listen to Sheik Jacob Bey say that everything's being returned back to we the people, and first to the First Nations, then you can see the clues. Who's over Department of Homeland Security? A man that signed up with the Cherokee Nation? And that hasn't happened in decades. He's only the second person to do that. And by the way, President Trump was in Memphis the other day. Somebody put in the chat why President Trump was in Memphis, Tennessee. What does Memphis represent? Why would he be in Memphis? If you look at the old ancient biblical maps, family, that's a clue why he would be in Memphis. Where's Egypt in the ancient maps? Do you know? Do you remember? Egypt is, thank you, part of Kentucky and Ohio and Tennessee. That's Egypt. The headquarters of Egypt, the capital, is Memphis. According to Sheik Jacob Bey, he told us a long time ago, pay attention to Memphis, that everything was going to start and go down in Egypt. And Memphis, the headquarters of Egypt. Remember? So all the puzzle pieces are coming together. All right. Oh, yes. Okay, Dr. LaTonia. Yeah, y'all say Dr. LaTonia is in the room. All right. So, family, listen. We've been speaking about geopolitics. On this channel, we've been talking about wealth and wealth preservation. We've discussed the global financial system and how everything is collapsing. And we know for a certainty that is happening because we've shown you the news. We've told you about all the countries that have joined BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa coalition. They've joined in order to coalesce or to fight against the United States Incorporated and all their shenanigans of forcing everybody enslaved and in slavery, making sure we are all indebted, paying taxes and all that. So we see the collapse of the system with the overturn of the Chevron doctrine. We see them making arrests. There are reports, I've shown you reports of judges being arrested, etc. But more importantly, we can feel the financial collapse. We see the high gas prices, food prices. We see high interest rates. Many of us have lost our jobs. A lot of us are going through marital strain, relationship issues, let alone what's happened since COVID with the dying of, unaliving of, or transitioning of our loved ones because of the disease that they release. We've gone through so much. Not only did our family members leave us in 2020, but we have people still leaving us because of the ramifications and the consequences of COVID. All of these things, high inflation, high gas prices, geopolitical unrest, financial collapses, banking collapses, banks literally stealing money out of people's accounts, has left us emotionally tormented. And some of us have dealt with and suffered from anxiety, depression, stress, poverty, unemployment, you name it, bereavement, divorces. A lot of people have called me and emailed me and said, I feel like I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm isolated. I have nobody to go to. I can't wait on the Nasara Jasara. I cannot wait for things to happen. I'm dealing with emotional and mental stress right now. What are you going to do, Dr. Pruitt, to encourage me? Because I'm literally dealing with all of the ramifications of the global financial system collapsing. I'm dealing, people are saying, with unemployment due to the government downside. So you can preach all day long, be okay, Nasara Jasara is coming, it's going to be all right, your currencies are going to revalue, but I can't use these currencies right now. I cannot eat the gold bullion that I have if I can even afford that. And some people even said, stop talking to me about wealth. My health is in peril. My mental health is in peril. So I heard your cry. I heard what you said. And fortunately for me and us, I don't even know how I came upon this amazing spiritual guest that we have on our show. We have someone who's going to talk to us about how when you plug into a source, and she's going to tell us what that source is, when you know how to plug in to this high vibrational frequency, when you know where to tune in, and you know how to plug in the source code, you can realize joy. You can deal with and cope with depression, and do more than cope with depression. You can cure and rebound from depression and anxiety. Because what's the sense of having wealth if you're mentally depressed and too stressed out to know how to handle it? What's the point of having wealth when you're dealing with divorce, when you're dealing with your loved ones who are left here? Well, today we have a world-renowned transformational psychology educator. We have a world-renowned master coach. Allow me just a few minutes to tell you who she is. It is none other than the Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor, a world-renowned transformational psychologist or psychology educator, a master coach, and an author of a book called My Juicy Rebirth. She is a priest, a certified holistic health practitioner, a spiritual midwife, and an ordained minister who has helped millions to break free from psychological barriers and trauma, and then help them to reach their fullest potential. This amazing woman and master coach has been featured alongside world acclaimed spiritual leader Ayana Van Zant. If that's not power, I don't know what is. She has worked alongside this powerful spiritual teacher because she herself is acclaimed and certified. She's worked with Ayana Van Zant, who many of you have seen on Oprah's show, on Ayana's television show called Ayana Fix My Life. And the Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor has worked with and coached on Married to Medicine, not only as a master coach, but also as a producer. And she's also served as a producer for Boss Chicks Guide and other soon to be released productions. Dr. Taylor has been lauded for her phenomenal, amazing work with millions, including widely renowned and known professionals and celebrities. Guess why? Because even celebrities are having issues right now in this time period. Dr. Taylor is also serving as a provost of Hillside University and a dean of shamanic studies. She's also working in marketplace ministry as a metaphysician and an ancestral guide, in her own personal business called Rebirthology and Media Ministry and the Marketplace. Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor helps people break free from psychological barriers when they need help and have no one else to turn to. She has helped millions to reach success, joy, mental health, wellness, and financial prosperity. You see, as I said before, there is a code to achieving success in love, health, wealth, and mental well-being, but oftentimes these things elude us. Today, we're bringing on this amazing master coach. It brings tears to my eyes. I got chills all over my body that she's agreed to be here to help tell us what we can do to go from where we are to where we need to be. Family, please help me. It is my esteemed pleasure to humbly introduce to some and present to others the amazing Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor. Help me welcome her family. Welcome, Dr. LaTonia. Oh my God.
Well, much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. It's my pleasure. And again, I apologize for the time mix up. It's my child. Please charge it to my heart. What they say, charge it to your head and not your heart or something.
Yes, yes. No worries. No worries. First of all, it's my honor to be here, and salute to your soul family, who I am a part of, because I'm always cheering and supporting you. Because when I went down my own rabbit hole in 2020, I was just processing all of the things that's been hidden right in front of our face. Mm-hmm. And I wanted a voice. I wanted somebody that looked like me. Mm-hmm. And I found you.
Oh, God.
And you, the grace and the elegance that you hold this spiritual truth, this financial truth,
yes, ma'am,
is truly something that I find to be beyond queen, because queen is low level ranking of the woman. Okay. There is, that's why we have to study matriarchy.
Okay.
And so you have a presence even when you're interviewing the brothers that I feel is an example of how to hold sacred space for truth without losing your feminine edge, and being able to create space for men to be able to talk and listen. I know that might trigger some people, but I'll explain why in a moment. But my point is, I saw my sister. I saw a sister who I know that there are women I serve that could relate to you and to the way that you're able to deliver. So I thank you
Mm,
for being unapologetic. I've watched the daggers that you've taken for having a different voice. I've watched
mhm.
people call you out of your name and you stand 10 toes down. So
Yes,
salute
ma'am.
to you, my
Thank you,
sister.
sister. Thank you. You said something to me one time when we were talking, and you said you need a spiritual covering. I have not forgotten that.
Oh wow.
And I literally sought out a spiritual covering because you said that.
Oh
I'm
wow.
going to get into who you are and what you have to say today. Can you explain why people need a spiritual covering?
Well, when you have a big assignment, particularly a worldly assignment, a marketplace assignment, and particularly as a woman, and you're going out and you are delivering the word that people that jolts people out of their slumber.
Mm,
The very people that we love and serve can be the same ones who will take you out
mm,
energetically. Even if they're not aware of what they're carrying, it's important for us to know who we are because we can pick up things. We
mm,
can pick up energies that's sent to us, particularly when we're out here on platforms like this. So it's important so that when it comes, not if it comes, because it will come,
mm,
that you have a grounding place. Sometimes when you have the right spiritual covering, they can see it coming,
mm,
or you can see it coming and prepare for it and do what you need to do to
mm,
make sure that it doesn't come near your dwelling, that you can send it back to the nothingness from which it came.
mm. And you know what? I sought out a spiritual covering, and that's exactly what my covering does. Say, okay, you've done enough. I'll take it from here. This is your assignment, and this is a part of the job that I'm going to handle.
Yes.
And whenever he sees attacks coming, he hits it at the head. He
Yes.
unrelentingly.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, Dr. LaTonia knew what she was talking about. That really ministered to my soul. So I want to tell you,
Oh
thank you.
wow. My
Thank
pleasure.
you. Hmm.
My
Hmm.
pleasure.
Yes. So, Dr. Taylor, you have so many credentials. Can can you tell us? I don't even know where to start. Maybe about your journey. Like, how did you
Okay,
become this
sure. Yeah.
amazing
I think
master teacher?
I think my journey definitely is the place to start.
Okay.
Because I'm from Mississippi. When Rod talks about Mississippi clay dirt walking, I'm her. I'm her.
Okay.
So when you talk about Memphis and all of that, we're talking about that Mississippi River. And
Mm,
so that's where I'm from. And that means I was born below the Bible Belt in the traditional Black South, if you Black South, as if you will. I was subjected to the same spell that many of us have come from under.
mm,
Um, and when I first started my journey, I started in the Nation of Islam. Well, let me back up. I
okay.
started in a family that I consider spiritually bilingual. Half of my family was Baptist, half of my family was Catholic. My father had me um, uh, uh, in the Catholic Church primarily, and then I leave my Catholic church with my godmother there, go to her house and go around the corner to the Baptist church. So I grew up in a unique family that was able to coexist, not condemn each other, not shame each
Mm,
other, and
wow.
be able to coexist in and out of different quote unquote faith walks. Little did I know that that would be forecasting to my own journey. So I
Mm,
go to school at Southern University. Shout out to the Jaguars in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
wow.
Um, so I go to Southern University, and I've always been a spiritual kid, not really
Mm,
realizing that I was being called to ministry when I would go to revivals at Cool Spring Baptist Church in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Like all of these things
mm,
were preparing me. I go to Southern, and I hear this brother outside the business building talking about who we were and
Mm.
talking about the Bible, and I was intrigued. And so I go on to study and go follow what he's talking about. Now, I had never heard of the Nation of Islam, but
Okay.
this particular sect was talking negatively about the Nation of Islam. That's why
Mm.
sometimes some of us give more energy to our enemies than we do to the people feeding us. So in that moment, I'm like, well, who is this guy? And
Mm.
so, long story short, the minister comes to Southern's campus. I go to listen, and it literally rang my bell.
Mm.
And I began to study with the Nation of Islam very young. I became an officer in leadership in the nation very early on, got
Mm.
married. So, that is like my other family there. But I grew up in spiritually also. I cannot remember exactly, but this sister brought in these metaphysical books. And because I was so young
Mm.
and I was in leadership over women 2-3 times my age, I always was one to study. Once again, a knock
Mm.
around ministry, non-traditional ministry. And so now she brings this book. The first time she brought it, I rejected it, just like anybody who's been dogmatic and trained.
Mm.
No, I don't listen to that. So first time I didn't want to hear it. I think it was a Iyanla Vanzant book. And so,
What?
yeah, yeah, tapping the power within. And so I started to live and go through some things. And then I needed something again, looking for someone who looked like me. And
Mm.
so I'm starting to study metaphysics, the science of mind, Louise Hay, all of these different metaphysicians, not knowing that this was metaphysics or any of that. But then I walked the bookstore, and I walked the bookstore not looking for, I didn't want to hear another damn book about history and slavery and where and all of that. That wasn't serving me. But most
Mm.
of the books in the bookstore during this time was about that. There was one woman who was talking about women developing themselves, and that was the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant. And
Mm.
I revisited the very book that I rejected, and I absorbed it and I took it in. And for the
Mm.
first time, I looked to see, like, well, how can I do this work? And I would say that the rest becomes history, but there were several other stops along the way that I call spiritually multilingual, that exposed
Mm.
me to different things. And I basically uh, started to take training from her, and then going on to the very first. I'm in the inaugural class of the Intervisions Institute for
Wow.
spiritual coaching. Again, another woman who looked like me.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, she formalized the education, and then that created the ministerial school. But I've also gone on to study other things along the way. And so I've been a metaphysician, ordained minister for over 20 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, like, when people are talking about deconstructing religion, we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have these ministries that deconstruct religion the way that they do now. You know, you had to go into the library and get books and study and replace. A lot of people leave the church or leave traditional religion, but it stays inside of them mentally,
Yes.
emotionally, and
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, because they've never done anything to put something new on the foundation. And
So
so
that's
that,
what you mean by deconstruct. You take down those
yep,
programmings,
yes,
okay, and
yeah,
replace it with something new. Okay.
yes, yes. That's why I think our conversation is so important, because people hear Rod. That's my brother. That's our brother. We share in common, and he
Yes.
talks about Big Mama, and he talks about who we are as women. But there's only so far that he can go. It's our job as women to turn up the volume. Many of us who have been Gen Xers have been silent, not because we don't know, but because we come from a generation that was so forceful, and we had to do things so much on our own. And I'm saying that it's time for these women, for these daughters to go back and get your little sisters and your nieces, and because they're pissed off with us. And so when we talk about Big Mama's house, when you hear Rod, you hear all the young people getting on with wounds. They can't even get to the financial conversation that you're having. They can't even get to understanding how to set this up and that up, because they're so wounded and their families are so broken. So, you know,
no, that's beautiful, because Spirit told me to touch on that in the introduction, that oftentimes I speak on these things, that these are what people who have reached what self-actualization deal with. But how can you talk about money when you struggling with who you are,
right,
abuse, trauma? It doesn't even make sense.
right.
That's why I'm happy that you're here. One of the things I really love about your ministry is you talk about rebirth. Rebirth, and it sounds like that's a part of the deconstruction. You haven't. When I hear rebirth, I think about church, because that's my program. How you have to be born again. Can you talk about being rebirth?
So we do have to be born again.
Okay.
Nicodemus said in the Bible, "Shall I re-enter into my mother's womb?" That's what Nicodemus asked. And the answer had to be, well, no, that because Nicodemus represents the mind that takes things literal.
That's the metaphysician in you speaking. Okay, go ahead.
Right. And so when we talk about being reborn, there, this is why you hear me teaching about astrology and all of that, not for the woo-woo of it. But there are times that the universe gives us naturally. As a woman, we have a menstrual cycle. Even every 28 days, we're reborn. Why? Because we're shedding the cells from our own womb, and so that it can make room for new life. So even in that, with the re-entering of the mother's womb into the mother's womb is going into your subconscious mind. So what is living in the subconscious mind that needs to be born again? But once you birth it, you got to parent it. And most of us will give birth to something that we cannot sustain. So you got to be able to parent what you rebirth. But are you going to parent it the same way that you were parented? Or are you going to give new life to something? And so that's why this conversation for women is necessary. I actually think we are in a crisis, a womanhood crisis. And so when we talk about returning to the matriarch, the very woman who represents the matriarch is blind, deaf, and dumb. She has amnesia. She represents the Masonic lodge, where she's been hit in the head, and she doesn't even know that she's been erased. And so you'll hear certain women talk about, won't he do it? But when you know who you are, you will be able to say, won't she do it? Because you understand who you are. You understand that to say that I am God is not blasphemous. For men to say that the black woman is God is not blasphemous, nor is it new.
It's not new.
Listen, we've had teachers that's been teaching us this, and they may have been packaged differently, but they've been teaching us this. Look at this. This woman right here, I've been trying to bring her back out to the public for the longest.
What was it? We can't see. I couldn't see.
Suzar. I'm gonna give you her full name in just
Black
a minute.
Mama. Okay.
The great Black Mama of creation. She goes by Suzar, but she's not Dr. Suzar Epps. Let me tell you something. She's one of the ones who been teaching and talking about who we are and breaking it down in all of the ways for years. When you have Queen of Fu, of course you have my teacher as well, but you have others. We are the Washita. There are plenty of voices out here that's been telling us who we are. Look, Minister Ava Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. That's been telling us who we are. Peace and blessings upon Minister Dr. Ava Muhammad. the Sibyls, huh? The Mami Wata, huh? So look, we
Woo.
Mother Tainetta Muhammad in the Nation of Islam has
Mm.
been telling us. So there have been mothers who have gone before us who have told us. Let me tell you something. I used to walk with Mother Tainetta Muhammad in the Nation
Mm.
of Islam. I used to
Okay.
spend personal time with Mother Tainetta. She was my principal. I would do her security, but we would go and we would talk about the indigenous. We would talk about
Mm.
the womb. I in the nation, I was so much in the religion, I
Mm.
couldn't even hear what she was saying until one day I was doing something and I said, "Oh my God, I've been around this the whole time."
Mm.
So that's why anybody under the sound of my voice who feels this call to stand up to remember mama, but not your physical mother,
Okay.
right? So the physical mother is one representation in terms of genealogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing your genealogy is important. Dr. T, I just jumped in. I ain't even give you a
No,
chance.
no, 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 no. I want you to keep going. This is good. This is good.
So not your physical mother. So when we talk about transformational psychology,
Mm-hmm.
it's not enough to just talk about Big Mama as something else to worship. When you hear Rod talking to the babies who are calling in, it's
Yeah.
about doing your shadow work. Well, what shadow work? The shadow work represents the dark womb. It is the place that we have to go into when Nicodemus says, "Shall I re-enter in my mother's womb and be born again?" But this is a different kind of birth. This is
Okay.
not the birth that she has to go into labor. We have to be able to go into labor with ourselves and take ourselves on and face the things that everything that mama. See, that's why you got so many Black women walking around here with a mother wound.
Mm.
I want to, and I cannot tell you how many shows that when people wrote in to do for Fix My Life, where people would write in, it would be the babies writing in because of the breakdown with the mother, the grandmother, the mother and the grandmother. So when we talk about the mother wound, right? The womb, dealing with the mother wound is the beginning.
Mm.
But after you get done dealing with the mother wound from the mother that you were birthed through, then there's another level. Your physical mother represents the door of the
Mm.
great cosmic mother who has layers of
Mm.
revelations. So
Okay.
and realization. So when we talk about entering into this space, there's several levels. Some of it you'll do with shadow work with a few
Mm-hmm.
exercises. Some of it you'll do in a workshop. Some people will go to plant medicine, and that's when you start to meet her and you
Mm.
start to do it. But every woman needs to experience more sacred processes,
Mm.
sacred healing processes, because as women, we learn belly to belly.
Belly to belly.
It's not just reading books. It's not. It's not. I
Okay.
don't care how much you can't Google. You
Mm.
can't Google experiences that are designed to heal you, that are designed to free you, that are designed to reveal to you. So let me just take money, and then I'll hush. So because
No, 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 no. Come on.
so when we talk about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Metaphysically, when we look at money, we talk about my money, my own,
Mine.
own,
Right.
natural, natural, energy, it's E, and
Okay.
Y, yield, my own natural energy yield. So if
Mm.
money is my own natural energy yield, I
Mm.
have to raise my vibration to even become a match to freedom.
Mm.
I have to move. That's why we deconstruct. Because if
Okay.
you still are having limited beliefs on a fear-based God, if you still are
Mm.
believing in heaven and hell, judging, then you are vibrating so low that you can't access the next level of creative
I
energy. So
see.
the law of mentalism plays a role in this my own natural energy yield. When we
Mm.
look at money, we call it currency. So
Mm.
then therefore it's an energy, it's a current, it's an electric yield. So even when I'm talking about
Mm.
juicy, this is my book, My Juicy Rebirth, the first place that people go to is sex. Well,
Mm.
sex energy is not a bad thing, but do you know how to use it to
Oh.
your own my own energy yield up? Do you know how to use your womb to be abundant, or is the womb full of fibroids and endometriosis and other things that the womb
Mm.
tissues have absorbed because of the trauma, not all the time that was done to you, but what was done to your mother and your
Mm.
mother's mother and her mother?
That's deep. That's powerful. So you said now the mother or Big Mama represents the cosmic mother. What do you mean by cosmic mother?
The 0 point, the universe,
Okay.
the 0 point, the cosmic womb.
Okay.
So
Oh.
when we are talking about planets, all we're doing is talking about ourselves. When we're talking about the sun, we're talking about the meridians in the body, the organs in the body. When
Mm.
and it's not, so the sky is a reflection of us. And
Mm.
so let's take example. I know this may be off a little bit, but
Mm-mm-mm. No, this is your
let's
time.
let's look at this year. A lot of people say, okay, this year is governed by the one energy. Well, no, you when you add up the year, it adds up to a 10. and and
Mm.
and so you get to the one, but you can't get to the one this year in this season without going through the one and the zero. One represents the yin and the yang principle, right? The phallic symbol. The
Okay.
zero represents the 0 point, the great cosmic womb of the universe that must work together. So in order for
Mm.
us to become the one, in order for us to be the one in our family to break the curse, the one in our
Mm.
family to show up differently, the one in our family to manifest and to remember from our Akashic records. It's no longer just doing it. That's why I'm not a feminist, right? This is not
Okay.
feminism that
Mm.
leaves the man out. This is not. The one and the zero is
Mm.
saying that the feminine and the masculine principle must work together in order to create a new reality for us in this season, in this one energy.
And that's
We're
part of that's one of the, excuse me for interrupting.
no worries.
That's one of the universal principles.
Absolutely.
Law of gender, male and female energies working together.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. We're at the
Mm.
0 point right now with Aries, and Saturn and Neptune at the 0 point in Aries. We've been going through transits since 2020 that represent a season of eyes have not seen, ears have not
Mhm.
heard.
Mhm.
Because we're the sky is talking to us. And so this is why a woman has to be in touch with her own cycle, because she is the
Mm.
calendar. She's the timekeeper. This is why if a woman is healthy, you can set your clock to a woman's cycle.
Wow.
This is why you have 4 seasons. And so all of them represent the 4 seasons of the woman. Okay.
Mm.
And so this springtime, this new year, this true new year that we are in, it is the woman's year. Easter is
Mm.
everything about the woman, not anything about a man on a cross, because he couldn't have got on the cross if he had not been witnessed by the woman who said what this move this rock.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So and even that, like, don't get me started there, because then even that is not, we've been lied to in terms of what that represents. So I hear
Okay.
people saying, these certain things, but this metaphysical knowledge has been here forever
Mm, mm.
because we created it.
And I
And
keep hearing that this is the time for it, that this is the rise of the divine feminine. Divine feminine energies are flooding the planet. I'm hearing that from spiritual people, religious people, political people. I'm
yeah,
like, wow, this must really be like you mentioned, the
yeah,
cosmic knowledge, because
yes,
it's transcending different areas and different disciplines.
because it's time. And
Mm,
so it is the time. The ancients forecast that this time would be. Mother
mm,
has been erased. She's been erased
mm,
from all of the three major religions. And so it is our job to remember. If we keep on waiting for men to tell us who we are, it has to happen like this
mm,
for us to be able to come online again, to come online and remember, okay, wait a minute, something starts to wake up, something starts to shake up, and then you start to remember the things that grandmama said or big mama said in your family, right?
mm.
And then when you think about some of the things that we say about, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody's happy. We say
Right.
things like, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. That's Easter, because this is a time in when the woman chose who she was going to mate with
Mm.
for her progeny.
Okay.
But we've been told, oh, the man chooses. No, no, no. The woman who knows who she is, she
He
chooses. She
chooses.
always has, and
Mhm,
she always will.
mhm, mhm.
So when we look at this season, we she's right in front of us with rabbits and eggs. Rabbits representing the fertility, the sexuality, the eggs representing the birth, and the time and the timing. There were whole sexual rituals that were done during this time by other cultures.
Okay. Okay.
So listen, and so I know there's some brothers, some of my brother Moors, they don't like this when you talk like this. They think you teaching some kind of goddess philosophy. Nope, I'm not talking about a goddess philosophy like that. I'm not talking about it like that. I'm not talking about the people who borrowed from us, rather,
Mhm.
and then tried to bury our knowledge and our information. Because when you go to ancient Kemet, you always see both the male and the female. If there was a male goddess or deity, there was always a female
That
coming.
sure was.
And that
Same when you study anthropology. They talk about ancient civilizations. They always had a female representation of God, just like they had the masculine representation of God. But
right.
as you said, they've erased the divine, the mama, and that's probably why we have so many problems in the world today, in my humble opinion.
Well, when we talk about matriarchy and erasure, it's not just religious,
Okay.
because it's nice for us to talk about, we were the indigenous here, that we were always here. We are the copper colored people. We are the ones, right, that we've been waiting for. But how did they live?
Mm.
How did they govern? And are we prepared to do it? Because there's a lot of healing that needs to happen in women ran communities. Can we talk about it?
Oh,
Because
talk
if
about it.
you are just a mean girl
Mm.
talking about empowerment, you're doing more damage, and you're going to have hell to pay. Because we have to move into a time where there has to be an atonement intergenerationally
Mm.
between women, so that our young sisters can talk to us and we can talk to them, so that we can heal. you know um, uh, a nation is no greater than its woman. And so
Mm.
when we look at indigenous cultures, my family is, they're known now as the Choctaw, but with the truth is they are the Natchez Indians.
Okay.
So we talk about the 5 civilized tribes, but the reason why genealogy is important is in knowing where you come from, is to know what was the tribe from, specifically from your land. That will also tell you about the rituals and the culture. So
Okay.
look at me now. Here I am now teaching all of this stuff about to women and all of that. It wasn't an accident. It was in my
Mm.
bloodline, because
Ooh-wee.
study the Natchez Indian They were a matriarchal society.
Mm.
And what does that mean? I did a whole year last year on the return of the matriarch on my Sunday show. So there were women in governance, and
Mm.
they consulted with the chief of the tribe as well. And so when we talk about matriarchy, we have to look at it in several layers. We have to
Okay.
look at it in terms of governmental. We have to look at it in terms of spiritual, but we
Mm.
also have to look at it in terms of the community and the house. So there was levels to matriarchal. And
Okay.
so the question, I call you all, many of you, feminine leaders.
Mm.
Are you
Okay.
fit? Are you fit? Because when we start talking, right, about family banking,
Mm-hmm.
Rod talks a lot about we need to learn family banking. One of the things that I've always said was, and here's the truth, Dr. Key, I know you can testify. How
Yes.
many people who are awakened in the 144,000 frequency can go to their own family and tell them what's really happening? You
Mm-hmm.
already said it. You said some people are feeling like they're the black sheep,
That's true.
feeling like they're the rejected and the despised by their own family.
Yeah.
So when we start talking about genealogy, when we start talking about metaphysics, you have to be able to heal yourself in order to heal the bloodline. Because when a
Mm.
woman heals herself, she's
Ooh.
healing 7 generations forward and 7 generations behind her.
Wow.
One woman under the sound of my voice. You're
Mm.
clearing things that your mother couldn't clear. Come on now, somebody.
Mm. Come on. Come on.
Clearing things that your grandmother, some of your grandmother's grandmother, somebody whose name you may not know, who you are clearing things that they could not clear.
Mm.
So
Mm.
this is why it's important for us not to be so such a much that we can't get down and do the dirty work of healing ourselves and staying with it. Because if you're 40 years old and you're coming into awakened knowledge, and all you're able to do is talk history, and all you're able to do is talk about who the white man is, huh? Because they're
Yeah.
your children.
Mm. Woo! All races, they say, came from the melanated woman. The science books say that.
So they're your children.
Mhm.
Instead of being intimidated and standing and acting like, oh, what they gonna do to me? And they do and all, huh?
Mhm.
Because there's different types of us who, there are some of us, when we talk about femininity is not always soft. There were in the matriarchal order different types of feminine goddesses who were fierce. Sekhmet will take off your head.
The fire goddess. Come
The
on.
fire goddess. And she's here. She's here. We see Mami Wata and Yemaya's waters are speaking. Then and now, so we're gonna see more of that. So we got to be able to pay attention to nature as women as
Right.
well, right? So this thing is layered when we talk about us, because we're everywhere. We're everywhere in nature. We're everywhere in the science. We're everywhere. And we begin to see this because it's just not enough of us. And I'm specifically talking to my Black intellectuals.
Okay.
You see, a lot of Black women are comfortable.
Okay.
You make more money than the average man that you're with.
Yeah. Ooh.
And you've been validated by our colonizers, by whatever you get as a result of that. And so now we've produced a generation of women who act like, talk like, have sex like men.
Ooh-wee.
And so when we start talking about women doing this healing, it would mean that they would have to choose it. But oftentimes people get awakened because they're forced to. Okay. Their traumas have forced them to heal. I don't even want to go there because I don't want to make the show too heavy. But you know what women have gone through in their own families that
Mhm.
drive them to healing, the violation that women have experienced, the lack of trust, the not seeing a man in their family. All of that is by design. And you have been the voice that's talked about
Mm.
how do we save our families. You
Yeah.
know, this one is hard,
Mhm.
but when we say everything has been flipped,
Mm.
we have been taught that the man is supposed to be the provider. Now, I'm not saying that that's not right, but we've gotten it to the point where it's where as if now when you look at Jewish culture,
Come on. Well,
you know where I'm going.
yes, ma'am.
When you look at Jewish culture, when you look at other cultures who have preserved our arts, it is the mother, the matriarch of the family, who says when people get married, when
Yes.
what investments are made. They have
Yes.
charts read, they do divination to find out is this favorable. So when we're talking about this idea of the soft life, some of
Mm.
us have thought that that means I don't do anything.
Oh, come on. All
But
right.
the wealth of our families oftentimes depend on the genius of the woman.
Mm.
It doesn't mean she has to do the work, but to be a matriarch means that you have to know strategy. You have to know the art of war,
Come on.
the 48 laws of power. You have to be
You
able,
talking my language.
you got to be able to know it.
Mm.
And I promise you, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest transition to choose it, and it's not. It takes a lot of self mastery to choose your medicine, because
Mm.
most of us don't want medicine. So that's why when we start talking about abundance codes and prosperity codes and such, there has to be a total shift. I believe that many people who are the ones in their family line, the ones who are the black sheeps, the ones who are rejected and despised, that is a part of your self-initiation, that you had to be able
Mm.
to move away from them in order for you to find truth. Because if it was comfortable for you to be accepted and embraced, you would not
Mm.
continue your studies. So that's why, the scripture says, study and show thyself approved.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of our sisters are like, you try to take away their credentials, their degree, their
Mm.
titles, and their six figures or their whatever. It's you know
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
you you like insulting them. So there's some of them who will never hear this until
Mm-hmm.
they have to.
They have to. And I think that's one of the reasons, why the creator or the source is allowing for like governments to collapse. It's going to force people to come out of their comforts of being the boss chick, or I'm the man with all the money, so I don't have to have a woman, or I'm a woman, who's making it, so I don't have to have a man. Now we're going to be forced to figure this out and how to work together, like you mentioned, the one and the zero together.
Yes, the one and the zero together. Absolutely. Because what did they tell us in math? They told us in math that you don't count the zero, that the zero has no value.
Mm.
Wait, am I lying? Talk to me, chat. Is that what they told us? You don't count the zero.
Mm.
But baby, when you want to add some value to your bank account, what do you want to see? More zeros. Anything you add a zero to, it becomes what? More. That is the womb of creation. That is the
I'm so grateful for my family. My husband, God rest his soul, his sister had a school. And
uh-huh.
because we had our own school, her husband was an engineer. He made all our children learn from, he said, in other schools, you're not going to learn about zero, but we're going to start with zero. When you have your own school, you can do what you're doing right here, re educate and deconstruct.
Yes. Yes. And even when we look at the one, now when you talk about music and you talk about chords and we talk about singing bowls and frequency, even when you look at music, the at one meant the one
Mm,
that
mm.
at what, which is what atonement is.
Yes,
This is
yes.
why I say atonement, the one even still speaks of
Mm.
atonement because atonement is at one meant. Okay. So when an orchestra is getting ready to tune up to play, they have to sound their instrument to the A tone.
Mm.
That's what the at one or A
I
tone.
see. I
So the A
see.
tone is when you're getting ready. When you see those an orchestra practicing, they have to find the A tone.
Mm.
We have to find the A tone in us
Mm.
in order to be able to to say be and it is. To be able to remember, to tap into our Akashic records, to move beyond our ego, which
Mm.
is
Oh.
easing God out. And yes, and we talk about men a lot, but honey, what a woman with a bigger ego is something else.
Whoa. You work with women often. I know you work with men too, so you can talk about that.
Well, I actually don't do as much work with men except for when, we were on the show and I worked with several levels of
Okay.
families.
Okay.
My heart is really soft for doing the work with women.
Okay.
Um, yes, sometimes the very woman that you
Mm.
love can be the most difficult to
Mm.
work with,
Yeah.
because she's so wounded. And her
So.
mother taught her, don't trust women.
Mm.
You have generations of women who have
Mm.
taught women not to trust women. And then when you talk about this
Mm.
mother wound, you can't get to the atone, the atonement, the unity, the one chord, the one sound, the one band, the cooperative
Mm.
economics, group economics, when you have women who can't see a bigger vision. Um,
Mm.
so so it takes, when we look at other movements and where the women were mentally, they usually were the heartbeat of these movements. So yes, our sisters are peculiar in terms of working with them, and sometimes that mother wound can create
Mm.
so much static and delay,
Mm.
and it's not a one-time activity. When a woman has a mother wound, the mother wound interferes or fractures identity. The
Mm.
mother wound says, who, because mama teaches you, who am I?
Yes.
Even if she's not saying anything, you're watching. The baby watches everything the mama does.
Everything.
She sets the energy and the pace. Plus, there is still a umbilical cord connection to
Ooh.
our mothers. This is
Okay.
why people go slip into different spaces when the physical mother dies, because there's an umbilical cord connection.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Right.
Mm.
So but daddy teaches us, how do I take that identity and express it in the world? So if you have generations of children with no daddy, and a
Mm.
and mother who has fractured identity, she does not know. So now we are being raised in a system under what we call civilir mortuus. I know you've heard when
I've
we
heard
talk,
of it.
when we claim black
Mm-hmm.
in the Black's Law Edition, we claim a dead status. So
Mm.
therefore, as a dead status, we need to have a foster care agent called your government. They
Yeah.
own your children, your identity. So if we don't even
Mm.
understand that, we don't even we can't get to wealth principle conversations. When a lot of the brothers used to teach back in the day, it used to irk my nerves, because most of the people would come on there, they want to get out of jail free card. How do I get out of child support? Well, how do I get out of my
I
mortgage?
know.
How do I get out How do I get out? How do I get out? But
Mm.
most of them were not interested in the foundation that matters energetically about who you are. So if you just are doing paperwork, so when Rod says we're in adhesion contracts, an adhesion contracts begins in the spirit. If you don't
Wow.
know who you are,
Okay. Mm.
we're in broken in contracts that are setting us up because we don't know, we've lost the oral identity, the belly to belly connection. And so a lot of us have to be able to look at our families first, right?
Mm.
When you do that genealogy, the way Dane Calloway, the way Big Chief out of Houston, Big Chief University, I can't remember his
No, yeah.
Big Chief University.
Okay, I haven't heard of him. Big Chief University.
Oh, I highly recommend. He's a Southern man coming on, baby. He got his receipts. He knows how to present that thing from the beginning all the way up to now.
Mm.
He really is. I highly. His book is called "I'm Indian, Not Black." I'm not black. I'm Indian. I think that's the name of his book.
I think I found them. I see a brother with the headdress.
Big Chief University. Yeah.
Is this his? Is bigchiefuniversity.com?
Yes, that's him.
The Untold History of the True American. Okay, I'll put it. I'll drop the link in the
Absolutely.
chat.
For,
Thank
for
you.
your intellectuals who need receipts, who want, who want to be able, who you've been using Roland Martin as your resource for information. But listen, anyway, let me tell you. So when we do that genealogy, if you really are doing it with your third eye, you can see your family's history. You can see that. Let me just use mine. Okay. When I looked at the genealogy, I started to see, wait a minute. I didn't come from broken families. My great-grandmother had a husband, and she had 11 children by one man. Wait a minute, let me keep going. My great-great-grandmother had a husband. Yes. And then you can also see what side of the family where the breakdown started, where the secrets started, where the lies started. So check this out, Dr. Kia. So now I'm doing my genealogy. Now I know how to pray. Now I know how to do ritual.
That makes
now I know how to talk to God. Huh?
Oh, you said rituals. Now we were taught you're not supposed to do rituals.
Well, who told you that?
The church.
Because the church sure does do all of our rituals.
Ooh.
They do all of our rituals. That the church tells you, oh, that's witchcraft. But when you go on New Year's Eve, they tell you the numbers. They were the ones who told you that this was the year of the one, huh?
Oh,
when you go and you get in line and he gives you a word, he's giving you prophecy, right? Or was he channeling? What is he channeling?
Oh, ooh.
So yeah. But not the churches I go to. They don't do that. But these traditional churches, yes, they do that. They'll have you in shame and guilt, constantly looping in a slave consciousness and a slave narrative, worshiping something outside of yourself. Well, baby, I can go into any space. This is what I'm telling you. I can go into any space. Why? Because I know I'm singing about me. I'm singing about me.
Okay.
But we rather be positional instead of using what our grandmothers and grandfathers use to get into a zone, to be able to cut cords, to be able to do so. I might not have the same consciousness of Jesus is going to fix it, but guess what? I can use Jesus as my elder brother to communicate with, because Jesus is represented in other pantheons as Obatala. Okay.
Okay.
Jesus is represented in other pantheons as Christ consciousness, as the light. Huh? So when we get these positions, we hold a position. Sometimes a position will have you so fixed that you can't see, wait a minute, they're talking about the same thing, they're just calling it something different.
Mm. But we feel like when you say I am God, or you put a woman up on a pedestal and say she's goddess or she's God, we feel like that's sacrilegious, and it's uncomfortable to say that out loud.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for some, but I
Well,
recommend.
not you.
I mean, I recommend that those of you who have been praying to a he to at least start and putting your name in it, right? And then from put your name in, male or female.
Mm.
Can you say a prayer and put your name in it
Ooh.
instead of praying to something outside of yourself?
Mm.
So that is the beginning. But yes, when a woman begins to understand the womb of God in terms of the great cosmic mother, the universe, when she goes into meditation, when she's able to settle her spirit, she now begins to communicate on a transcendental level.
Okay. Transcendental.
Yes, evolved to be able to transcend above just the physical consciousness. This is how we hear and we feed our intuition, and we have an inner knowing about things. This is why when we hear certain things from certain teachers, we're able to be confirmed, not just somebody just telling you what to do, because you can hear from your spirit. So there there's so many codes that we have within us that tell us about even how we're supposed to, quote unquote, get money. All of us are not supposed to be doing the same things in order to attract money. First of all, I want those of you who are on your show, especially the Moors, to understand. I understand there is no money under this current system.
Okay.
So don't send me no notes about all of that. I understand that. so I understand that there is no fiat.
Fiat, that part.
But when we understand who we are, we have a different language, that I am the money. I am my own natural energy yield. So just shifting from that I am the current, I am the currency. So being able to shift mentally first to that level of opening makes us attractive to other ways and solutions. But all of us are not supposed to be getting money the same way. And that is a part of doing the identity mapping and going through process and understanding who you are and what aligns with who you are called to be in this season, in this body.
Now, do you do that work with people?
Oh God, yes.
The genealogy and
yes, it's the foundation.
Okay.
Now I do this in my private circles, mainly. I have tried to teach it, but I realized that people have to be at a certain level of advancement, because otherwise you'll spend so much time trying to. So let me go back to something real quick.
Okay.
Let me tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. This is my book, My Juicy Rebirth, right?
Okay.
A journey to healing the feminine through pleasure and sacred process. When I first started teaching about this, people focused only on the pleasure as something that was just sexual. But when you have shame, guilt, and fear dominant in your psychology, it makes it very difficult for you to get advanced knowledge and understanding. So even when Black women would come to do this work around pleasure, we are the only species that thinks that pleasure is something bad.
Oh.
And all of that is by design. Because if you keep the woman, the mother, in pain, in fear, she can never get to her feel good. When a Black woman, when the mother of the universe begins to feel good and has no guilt, you cannot imprison her. There's a liberation that happens, and she begins to have direct relationship with God, because you can't shame her about her body. You can't shame her about her orgasm. You can't
Mm.
shame her about her ability, because that is so. Pleasure is, first of all, we were designed with 8,000 nerve endings by the
Mm.
creator. So did the creator make a mistake when we were designed with 8,000 nerve endings?
Ooh. No, ma'am.
So if we have 8,000 nerve endings, the only thing that we want to pray about is paying bills.
Wow.
The 8,000 nerve endings tell you you were designed to feel good. But your
But-
feel good does not have to just be to get a man or to keep a man.
Ooh.
The embodiment of our embrace of our femininity comes with reverence. It is because we are the temple. We are the holy ground. We are the sacred place. We are the church. We are the tabernacle. We, the mother of the universe. We are.
Mm. You were talking about pleasure, and one year I spent, actually for a couple years, not long ago, I spent some time studying different cultures as it relates, to pleasure. I read books. I think it's one called White Tiger, something.
Oh yeah.
Those Asian books. And what I learned, and when I was studying about pleasure, is that ancient cultures outside of the Western world, they focused on pleasuring the woman.
Oh, absolutely. Because they, first of all, they Asians have preserved our arts because they're so connected to Africans, and the indigenous Black Asian, they practice a lot of our, because it's us.
Mm-hmm.
And it and tantra and all of that comes from ancient Kemet. So when we start talking about tantra, they called it anking. Anking.
Okay.
The
Like,
ankh. Mhm.
okay. Wow.
And so there are there's breath. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Okay.
Yeah,
There's
for a
breath
second.
work that goes with that.
Okay.
With that work, the microcosmic orbit that we begin to learn. So if you just are talking to people that are talking about sex on a low level,
Mm-hmm.
pornographic, bestial level, run in the other direction, because true sex magic and pleasure is really about your relationship with the divine.
Whoa.
And it is about coming together, that sex becomes something that's ceremonial. And when you understand who you are, you won't swap with anybody energetically.
Come on.
And you won't let them enter into certain orifice anyway.
That part right there.
Because
Yes.
you're not trying to release the dark energy, because I understand that a lot of our young people are engaging in a lot of anal sex and
They
backdoor
are.
of things, right? But
Yes.
and then they're wondering why they can't get rid of the dark energy, or why they're suicidal. So, and even our young boys need to be taught true sex magic in early on without share, but it needs to be a man. So men got to grow up the conversation.
Oh my God, please have to grow up, especially when it's around sex. It's just it's irritating, the low level thinking that a lot of our gentlemen have been taught. They've been the vibration that they've been vibrating on, the frequency. And I think it's cultural. When I mean cultural, is maybe it's the Western world, or maybe because of
So it's
colonization. I don't know.
absolutely it's absolutely Western, but at the
Okay.
same time, Audre Lorde, I love her writing. And
Okay.
she talks about how, when one woman is not free, no woman is free, because we got to understand on a global level how unsafe it is to be a woman in other countries.
Okay.
And so when we see certain things happening, when we look at Israel, when we look at Iran, what is the condition of the woman there? What is her condition? How is she?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because she's been erased. So we don't spend any time really looking at, when we're talking, a lot of times the brothers get focused on the facts, the history, the receipts, the warfare, as they should. But we also have to, what's the condition of the woman there?
You said a nation can rise no higher than the woman.
Right. So when we look in terms of even sisterhood and building, being a bridge, we have to understand that there are other levels of oppression that exists for women in certain cultures as well.
Before we go on, thank you so much. I just want to say to the Soul family, I appreciate you all chiming in. People are really enjoying this conversation. We're going to talk about how you can reach Dr. Taylor in a little bit. But for those of you who are saying she's really resonating with you, you know, this is how I do it. If you want to offer a donation or a gift to our Dr. LaTonia Taylor, please be so kind to send her a PayPal, if you will, and you can send that to paypal.me/rebirth. Is that rebirth YLT?
Rebirth by LT.
Oh, rebirth by, excuse me.
And
PayPal.
it's same on Cash App. Rebirth
okay, and
by LT.
Okay, and let me see where I did have it. And it's also on the sticker at the bottom of the screen, family. If you desire at some point, any point during the podcast or the replay, please be so kind to send a donation. I got that from the church. I was taught, and I keep a lot of my teachings from the Nation of Islam. We have that in common, and the church. If a person pours into you, that it's an energetic exchange. You know, you give them praise, you tell them thank you, and you can also offer a monetary gift. So that's why I do that, for the people that might wonder why I do that. Just before we go on, I want to just ask you about sexual pleasure. I've been reading articles that say that nearly 80% of women do not reach orgasms.
Correct.
And you can verify that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a travesty.
If we were in a sacred container of women, the women would verify that. The number of women who, so when we start talking about this, right, you know, there are the good girls, and another way of erasing womanhood, Black womanhood, is many Black women are good girls who went to school, got a good education. They take care of themselves. They're highly independent. And so now the only women sometimes that you hear about is the rags to riches story, the woman that was at the bottom of the barrel and she came up. And oftentimes the educated Black woman is forgotten. So certainly she is, but that level of her being forgotten also began in our relationship with the mothers in our families who stopped teaching, who stopped talking, who stopped telling. And so the more we became indoctrinated with religion, and we started to inherit more shame and guilt about who we were, about our pleasure, about our ability, and that our pleasure was connected to a man or keeping a man, or that he's supposed to be able to do it. But yes, 80% of women could be. I said that to say that women who oftentimes follow all the tenets of the church are in unhappy, unfulfilled marriages and relationships for years. And I've had conversations with some of these grandmothers who have told me, I don't know, baby, we didn't never do that. We didn't never talk. I don't even know that. So some of them don't even know their body parts, the proper names. That's how come we grew up hearing things like pea pot or down there or something like that, because all the mothers stopped teaching. There's a book called The Red Tent. The Red Tent is a great book for a woman to be able to see how women used to take care of each other and go into to one tent. Now this red tent represents when they were menstruating.
Okay.
What happened during that time in the red tent? And so we taught each other how to do certain things and clean ourselves, and we taught each other how to command our energy. So when you see a woman who is very sensual and very, very sexual, and she does not know her power, she becomes dangerous to the women and to the homes and to the families because nobody ever taught her how to
Wow.
hone her energy and how
That's
to
good.
use her energy for
Mm,
herself. So
mm,
yes, there are a lot of unfulfilled women because we've been taught to be in our head,
mm-hmm.
not in our heart and not in our body. That's why
Right.
we have to have so many workshops and trainings to
Mm,
get us back into our body consciousness, our nervous system, our immune system. And all of this has a lot to do with our relationship with God. So when I wrote this book, I remember just teaching. Let me tell you this story real quick. You'll
okay.
appreciate this. So my good girlfriend, I have a lot of pastoral friends in ministry, traditional ministry, by the way. And so she was doing a women's conference, which was the beginning of inviting deconstruction. I would say a light, right? So she
Okay.
had me at one of the tables.
Mm.
And so the table just had the card on it, pleasure. Well, only a few people came to the table.
Oh,
So
okay.
look, so look, that kid.
Okay.
She stopped the conference. She said, "Now let me tell y'all something. Y'all come whispering to me. You come
Mm,
that time I wasn't Dr. LaTonia, Reverend LaTonia, and others in the room about all this, that, and the different things women whisper about. And yet you're afraid to go to the table." She had to preach them, teach them, and make them okay with
mm,
just going
mm.
to the table because women are so afraid of being judged by other women.
Yeah.
When after she did that, I couldn't even fit everybody at the table. We had to move into another space in the hallway, and I had to turn women away. When
Wow.
we got
Wow.
into our huddle to just begin five points of sacred sensuality, the stories of rape, molestation,
That's where I was gonna go next. Mm.
violation, and
Mhm.
the way that they've been shamed, the teenage pregnancy or getting married with children out of wedlock or whatever they went through, we couldn't even get to the pleasure
Mm, 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 mm.
because the pain. This
Mhm,
is why so many people run to church and religion,
mm,
because this is some of them believe it's the only safe place that they've ever had. So
mm,
so I had to start teaching Black women differently. Now, mind you, I did not learn all of this, all of the techniques and different things just in a Black community, a Black workshop. A lot of Black women love to do work around centered on pain. And I
mm.
had to leave out of our community and
Okay.
go into other communities
Mm,
where this was more embraced. Dr. Kia, just to get
mm.
women to the point of saying what they truly desired
Wow.
and
Wow.
wanted for themselves
Mm,
without fearing hell or damnation
mhm,
or judgment from another woman.
mhm,
Became one. I started off with a 1 day workshop. Then I started off with
mhm,
a few days. Then that wasn't enough. They said I need more days, and so that's how
mm.
the rites of passage that
I
I hold
see.
was
Mm,
born. Women giving themselves permission to define their womanhood on their own terms and still finding God right there in all of it, because we
yeah.
taught so much foolishness. So
I
yeah,
mean, even when you think about the church, I mean, the Bible starts out talking about how the woman is the reason why the whole world is, full of sin, and because of her sins, we all are judged by
you're
God.
talking about the Adam and Eve story.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, that is another metaphysical story that we have to look at what Eve represents. First of all,
Oh,
she was not Adam's first choice. Somebody in the comments put who was the first one.
come on,
Say,
family.
come on now. Who was the first one? But in New Orleans, we have a saying, the Indians in New Orleans say, "No, bow down." no bow down. So Lilith was the first one. There you go, Monica. Yes, Lilith.
They
That's
know.
right.
They know. Oh my
That's
gosh.
right. Come on now. Come on in the room. Come on in the room,
They are
honey.
here. They know.
Yeah. So in New Orleans, we say no. The Indians, the indigenous ones in New Orleans said no bow down.
No bow down.
So she was the one who would not bow down.
To whom?
To Adam.
You like, who else? I just wanted to know. I just wanted to hear. That's what we talking
she
about.
was. And the Jews they teach Lilith, and they have built their culture. You see how their woman thrives in their culture. But Lilith is the first one. And so this whole taking a rib from a man don't even make scientific sense. But we accepted these things.
I know.
So there's a lot of forgiveness that one has to do. You know, you can take people out of the church, but if you don't understand that you are the church, it's that other church is still in you.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's so true.
I saw somebody in the comments say, "This is healing me."
Oh,
and that touched my heart, because if nothing else is, if nothing else, that this was for you. The fact that she said, "This is healing me." You know, one thing I want to also say to us as women who already know this, we also have to ask the question, what happened in womanhood that we lost our memory? We love to talk about the slave story.
Okay.
But what happened? First of all, you know, Rod talks about the black hand. So we love to say that the white man did it, but then when we find out they look like us, but they not us. But what happened to us as women that we have forgotten? This is why I talk about the atonement. This is why I talk about us coming online, because something happened. Because we have to be careful about us not getting so focused on our ego too, that we are duplicating business like men. Or governing like men. We are not designed. We're not even. So that's why understanding the matriarchy and the code, that she is source code for everything. And so being able to understand, when we talk about source code, now we're getting into to ancient communication.
It must be very ancient, because when you mentioned it, I had to go to chat and say, what's source code? When we were talking online, I was like, what's the source code? How do you use that in a sentence? I had never heard of it.
But you know, when we talk about the matrix, right?
Yes.
We're talking about mama. We talk what matrix? Matrix. Okay. So when we look at what's happening with women, there's this, and how women even relate to one another, there's a healing that has to happen from one culture to another, even to those of you who your viewers who are not melanated or not melanin rich, dominant, there still even has to be a healing and an acknowledgement even from them. A lot of times they want to know, well, what can I do? First of all, it's not our job to come and teach you and tell you what to do, but it is something that must be done. We must be able. There's an atonement. There is reparations that they need to pay to the mother.
To the mother.
And it looks different in various different ways, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I would rather have some of those conversations in private spaces. Yeah.
Okay. If somebody wanted to reach out to you in private, will they be able to do that? Because I know you're very busy.
Oh yes, but this is my work. This is my assignment. This is what I've been called to do. And so yes, Rebirth with LaTonia. So you know, you can go to my link tree. And you can go there. I have programs to teach women feminine abundance, to really understand. And let me tell you, coming on. I was like, I got to come and bring a gift to Dr. Kia's audience.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
So the gift I
They'll
have
love this.
is going to be available for about 24 hours where you, and then when it's not, it'll be a nominal love offering. But there's a ebook available called Yes, I Can Manifest. And
Okay.
it is an
Ooh.
opportunity for you to start hearing the language of abundance, of feminine abundance.
Oh, I love that.
And then I have a process, a 7-day process called the Fab Factor, the Feminine Abundance Basics, just so we can understand how to use this energy to become the attraction factor or the attractor factor. So that we don't think that we have to go and get money through just traditional work. I'm not saying that we don't have to do work or put effort, but I'm saying it starts with moving all of and clearing the way, making room for more, just simple, because we have so many blocks, so many scales on our eyes, so many fears that we think that we're not pleasing God. I've had to do entire teachings just to say, in my book, I talk about what is pleasing God.
Oh,
We don't even know what that really is. And let me tell you why I love doing this work. It's because it could have been me. You know, there's a gospel song. It would have been the Clark sisters. It could have been me.
I remember this. Yes.
Me.
Yes.
But look, it said, the song says, if it wasn't for the blood,
The blood.
Right. But look, what blood? The blood that my mothers and my foremothers shed, not the what they're singing about. What blood? When I plead the blood, I'm talking to my bloodline. When I plead the blood, I'm speaking to my blood. I'm talking to my Akashic records. What blood? So that's why we got to be able to understand beyond the physical translations of things to be able to redefine it in a more universal context. I know I get excited.
I can tell this is your passion. This is your purpose. We always talking about, and I talk about, lately I've been telling people you have to figure out or uncover your purpose. Why are you here? And I can tell you are definitely fulfilling your purpose. You're passionate about it. It's something that just oozes from your pores.
It took a while, but it took a while for me to get here. It's been around me. I've done many ceremonies where the mother has told me, and she told me recently, she said, lead with me.
Ooh-wee.
And I said, okay, mama, because I've always taught it in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
They getting chills. Keep talking. They said, Sister Angela said, I got chills. Golden Sunkiss says, "Ooh, I got chills when she said that." Somebody else said, "Say it again."
Yes, but you can't erase what you were coded for. The code is within you. So everywhere you go, you got to talk mama. You got to call on mama. That's why it's important. I make women call on the names of your mothers just right now. While you're watching, drop the names of your grandmother in this chat. And you just elevated the energy of Dr. Kia's show because you're calling in grandmother. What's her name? Call her in, Ashe. What's her name? Call her in, Ashe. Put her name in the chat. There she is, Lolita, Ashe. Come on now. Come on. Put Dolores. Come on now.
Come on, family. Drop it in the chat.
Celestine, call her name. Where's my bell? You gonna make me start ringing
my bell? Come on, mama. Come on. Ring the bell. Hilda. Come on,
now. Dorothy, come on. Yes. Mary, Ashe. Celeste, Ashe. Anna Marie, Ashe. Eshmi, Ashe. Joyce, Asheo. Carrie, Asheo. Arlene, come on now. So what are we waiting for? What are we waiting on somebody to call grandmother? You better call grandmother. Call her. And it says, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Yes. Who we calling to come in the room? The angel that knows your name. And if you don't know her name, that's okay. Call her energy in. Call in the women who I call on Mother Tynetta Muhammad. I call on Dr. Ava
Ooh.
Muhammad. I call on those energies. Why? Because they
Mm.
were my guardians while they lived. I call on
Mm.
Audrey Lord. I
Mm.
call their energy into the
Mm.
room with you. You
Wow.
got to do it. You can't wait on anybody to do it. This is how I started writing this book, Dr. Kia, is I started talking to my womb.
Let me ask you something. Could this be a reason why we haven't been set free? Because we haven't called on the ancestor to come help us?
I wouldn't say we hadn't called on the ancestors to come help us, but I
Okay.
would say but because the woman is key, she is source code. And as long as
Mm.
we are the 92% doing the bidding of everybody else except for ourselves, we will continue to be dangling.
You know,
We are,
the Pope worships
oh, honey,
the Black Madonna.
because he knows who we are. Because he knows who we are.
Mm.
The sacerdotal seat that Rod talks about is important. It's in order to understand the governance. We got to take our sacerdotal seat energetically first.
Now, what's a sacerdotal seat? I hear him say that, but what is that?
Okay, so there's a big old chair. Go look at it I wish I could tell you where to pull it up.
Okay.
But it's symbolic. It's not, the seat is not occupied.
Okay. Okay.
It looks like it's big what do you call those things? Valances or totems or whatever. And it's or poles, and it's in gold.
Okay.
And until Rod taught this, I really was looking over it. But it's a golden chair. And it's not occupied.
It's
And
not.
nobody can sit in it.
You know what? That might be the seat that Empress Rarebird just went to sit in.
It is. That's what Empress Rarebird was talking about in Philadelphia. But she has the bloodline and the blood right and that type of thing. But the sacerdotal seat energetically can be taken by every woman who accepts the calling to be the one that your grandmother prayed for to remember.
Woo.
Your mama may not remember. Your auntie may not remember. But you're remembering. And God didn't give the assignment to them. The assignment was given to you. So stop trying to convince people who will be your roadblock. You can't look for approval. You already have it.
What if somebody's in the chat and they're not melanated or not classified as Black? Do they still have?
Then you have even more of a responsibility, because you can cloak yourself and move into circles and represent the Divine Mother in spaces that your sister may not, or your auntie, or you have a responsibility to make sure she's there. That's how come when we look at the feminist movement, they never thought about us. This is why Alice Walker said that we were womanists. So womanism is important to understand, because there are womanist theologians. Okay. There are womanists, because even when they had this march in Washington, they didn't include us in with honor. But there are women who do not look like us, who want to be a part of the atonement and the healing. And if you are just holding the fixed position, you know better than any racist that you have attended. Now, we do have to be mindful and understand everybody's nature.
I'm listening.
We have to be mindful of who's coming, because there are many circles where people have invited others into the space, and then it gets used and monetized and repackaged and that type of thing. So there's a lot of healing and clearing that has to be done. Some of them have to do it in their own circles. I remember a woman who did not look like us, saying that the way that she was healing is she was confronting her family members.
Mm.
And that's nobody's business. That's her.
Mhm.
She was doing that
Her business.
in
Mhm.
order to absolve herself of the
Mhm.
karmic debt that was on her family. So if you
Mhm.
don't look like us and you say, well, that's not me, then you
Mhm.
got to do a demonstration. The universe will meet you at the point of your activity. Can't just be this. You have to do a demonstration. And
Mhm.
so the same way we have to do a demonstration.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to pay it forward. That's why you have certain people investing in movements and support.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're in business rooms, in boardrooms,
Mhm.
and so that's another way to pay it forward. There's a lot of that can be done even individually, and there are people who are doing it.
And
They
even as we're healing by calling on our mama, if they have trauma and they call on their mama, it's the same. Is it?
Yes,
Okay.
but once we get into a little bit more ancestral science, you don't
Oh,
really call on the ones who are the dark riders, the troublemakers. You call
oh,
on the ones that can be of assistance to you because of some
mhm.
value that they brought while they were living.
Okay. I
Mhm.
see. I see.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
you know about that. I'm not. I don't know much about ancestral studies. I would love to, but I don't.
I think you probably know a lot more than you would give yourself credit for, because
Okay.
it may have been called by
Mm.
something different.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
I saw somebody. Thank you, doctor. I saw somebody segment fire goddess. We talked about fire goddess in the minute. She
Yeah.
said earlier you were calling on her to remember. You just called. You just caused me to remember. Mm.
See? See? Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because it's in us. Oh, she says she's in tears right
I
now.
see that. Oh,
Oh, wow. Yes, because you know why? Because you
mm,
remember the scripture says faith comes by hearing. So
mm,
that's why
mm,
you have to come and hear people like Dr. Kia. You have to
mm,
hear Rod Hayes when he's building, when
mm,
he's teaching. You have to
mm,
hear Big Chief Top Cat. That's his name, Top Cat.
Top, yeah, okay, okay.
we we have to hear Dr. B
Mm,
Serious, who's talking about it from
mm,
a musical note. We have to hear Dr. Phil Valentine. We have to
mm,
hear the Reverend Dr. Ian Van Zant. You know,
mm,
Rod oftentimes talks about this one sister who's been doing work, but
mm,
honey, can't never forget the mothers.
mm,
I am who I am in many ways because of the family that I came from,
mm,
but I also have covering. I have, and
mm,
I am responsible and accountable to elders who walk with me,
mm,
who will correct me about certain things that I don't need to do as a priest or say or do certain things. So this thing where you don't need anybody to teach you, I think that that's an
mm,
error, because we do have to have some level of accountability, so that now we're not
mm,
creating these conscious circles where we're doing more wounding and damage
mm,
and having incestuous relationships where people are having energies attached to them because people don't have any accountability.
that
So,
part.
you know, I am so grateful because sometimes spirit will give me something directly,
Mhm.
and then I'll hear one of my teachers teaching it.
Mm,
And I'm like, oh my God, I, I was supposed to know this. I was supposed to tap in with it. And we're not copying, we're not
mhm, right.
competing, we're not doing any of that, because it's supposed to be that we activate each other
Mm,
rather than hating on each other.
come on. Speaking of activating each other, the other day I think you know her personally, Dr. Naila Gillum, Dr. G.
That's my girl, Dr. G. Yes, indeed. You know that. That's my girl.
She said we as women need to get together, and she said that means get to. I was like,
To
get
get
out of
her.
here.
To get her.
To get her.
Together is to get her. Yes.
I was like, I never heard that was all of this is timely. And because like you said, we need healing. We really do. We Speaking of us needing healing, I'm so glad you touched on abuse because that's something that we aren't allowed to speak about. You don't tell. That might be a thing that women, period, can't talk about. But I know in the community classified as Black, you do not talk about being touched, especially if it happened in the family.
Yeah, but see, that's problematic
Okay.
because um um first of all, we it's not just not being touched. We've told too many, and I know I was told this.
Mm-hmm.
We've had too many people tell us, "Oh, don't say that about your mama. She
Ooh.
did the best she could. Well, she didn't mean it." So now, not you have a generation that
Mm.
has gone to the other extreme where they're going no contact with their mothers.
That's so true. It's in
You
my family. It's so
right.
true.
You have a generation of women who are angry
Mm-hmm.
with Black women in authority because they don't
Mm-hmm.
trust our
Mm-hmm.
leadership. They don't feel safe
Yeah.
with us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so that's why we can't
Mm.
just talk about abuse and predatory men or in our
Okay.
families. We have to talk about all of it. We got to put all of it on the table. And that is
Mm.
the first level of freedom. I have experienced abuse in my family.
Okay. Yeah.
And the greatest thing that I had to heal from is when I
Mm.
did finally tell, because it wasn't the first time. When I finally told, you know what they said? Well, I don't want to break up the family of she just got married. So
Mm.
if she found out, she would be divorced. So you just told a
Mm.
girl who told
Mm.
that she was not valuable or worth you going to heaven and hell for. And
Mm.
so I had to spend many years healing
Mm.
that the conversation that I didn't matter, that I wasn't seen because I was dismissed, I was
Mm.
minimized in many ways. And later on, I had to
Mm.
go back to the people, my mother, to other
Mm.
people I trust,
Mhm.
to, to say the damage that they had done. And my mother apologized. She said, I didn't know. We weren't taught. And
Mm.
that they kept so many secrets.
Mm.
Boomers, the silent
Mm.
generation,
Mm. Silent generation.
they kept so many secrets, they hid so many things. And so now you have Gen Xers who got away, or they navigated around it. And then you have who we give birth to millennials who are outing everything. They're not gatekeeping anything. They're putting
No.
way too much out there at some time, right? But we have to be able to go to the other that's what happens when you go too
Yeah.
far. You end up having to go all the way to the other side until you can find the balance of correction. And so now we have Gen
Mhm.
Z and Alpha generation who are they were not born, children born, I believe, after 1985 were not born with the karmic debt
Mm.
that many
Right.
of the other that we were born with.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are crystal children, rainbow children who came here with gifts,
Mm.
understanding, and being able to communicate with other places and other sources of energy and understanding things, but they have to have the right custodian.
Mm.
And this is why we're seeing suicide levels, fentanyl use levels, and
Oh,
all of
wow.
that, because the child came here gifted, but the parent may still have been vibrating low. And so
Okay.
we have a lot of children who are gifted. We call them weird. We call them
Mhm.
all types of things, but we got to rise up. One of the things that Iyanla says when a woman is going through certain things, she says sometimes a woman just needs to up her wattage, up your wattage. When you see low vibrational things, you need to stop and say, I said money is my own natural energy yield. So when we are in lack and struggle consciousness,
Mm.
we got to up our wattage. How does a woman
Mm.
up her wattage? She ups her wattage by feeling good. And sometimes
Mm.
it's not just Jesus that's going to make you feel good. It's
Mm.
not just a praise dance on Sunday. It's can you sustain it at the level of sovereignty, at the level of self-mastery and vision mastery. These are terms that should not be so
Mm.
foreign to us. When I talk energy talk, people say, I don't understand what she's talking about. Why? Because we're under the spell of that.
Mm.
We speak the king's English only
Ooh.
to cross ourselves and confuse ourselves when we're energetic beings. So,
Lately I've been listening to men talk about the matriarchy. There's this family that I follow. I don't know why I follow. You heard of Kenya K. Stevens?
yeah, I've worked with Kenya too.
I love her.
I've worked with Kenya.
I love the way she talks about communication. I do. I love some of the things she talk about. I'm not there, some other ways, but but I heard her husband Carl say that we pedestalize women, and that is the brunt of a lot of pain. That's what I'm hearing you saying. In the Black community, don't you talk about your mama, don't you say that. And
yes,
so
but we pedestalize women to the point where if somebody were to check us or tell us that we're out of order, we're wrong for that. So, remember when Monique talked about us going to the airport in bonnets? Well, they attacked Monique, but she was doing what an auntie is supposed to do. So what made us to the point that can't nobody tell us nothing? This is what's breaking down our families, because the truth is we don't know what it is to live in the house with a man. So we don't know the vibration and the tone of a man's voice. We don't know how to let a man have a moment with us without us getting in his face, telling him this. Oh, we're out of order. That we are out of order too. And so when you talk about submission, you think that somebody is trying to take something from you. But there's something called fascinating womanhood. And other folks teach you fascinating womanhood because it's a psychological way to be able to be a wife. See, being a wife is something that a wife can teach you how to be. But if your mama been single, if your mama's been sleeping, what's the side piece? Come on. When we talk about genealogy, we got to talk about all of it.
Ooh.
And so, but brothers, y'all not off the hook either, because you're so used to women yelling at you and talking to you a certain kind of way that when a woman is soft and is sitting in her power and she's not demeaning you, you can't hear her.
And I'm hearing women teach other women, if you want to get a man to act a certain way, you have to be mean. Be a mean girl. Because soft women, they say they don't get ahead. They don't get what they want. And I'm like,
there's teachings like that out there. There's certain feminists who have definitely written books about this type of thing.
Yeah.
But there's some science to all of this when it comes to the womanly arts. And am I saying that I have it on lock? No, I've had to learn on the job. I've had to deconstruct my womanhood. I've had to deconstruct my womanhood and then redefine it. And I have to give myself permission to constantly upgrade my database. Because my database needs to be defragged. I'm talking tech language, Dr. Kia. I'm talking computer language. I'm talking matrix language. Because so am I going to, how many of you sisters who want to be in a relationship with a man have a woman in your family that you can go to that's happy? How many of you seen your mother loved on, talk to sweetly, kissed on the side of her neck? How many of you saw your mother be soft and still get everything that she wants? Come on now. So there's a lot of shifts that are available for us, but the women who are doing this work, a lot of my teacher, she is doing rites of passage. She's teaching spiritual hygiene. She is doing, there's things that y'all saw on camera and on one hand, but you didn't see the prayers that she prayed. You didn't see the preparation that she did to get to the show, the sacrifices that she made to be able to serve a family.
What show are you speaking about?
I'm speaking of Iyanla Fix My Life, and I saw some of the comments about Oprah and all of that. I saw
Oh,
that.
I didn't see it. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
it's all good.
Sorry
I'm
about
not
that.
here to defend anybody else.
Right, right.
So, except for my teachers and my I know who they are, and so I say that to say that there are mothers who are teaching this and who are doing this work, and I'm
There are
one.
people, and you're one of them, and you're a very profound, prolific one.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome. I see people in the chat saying they never saw their mother get loved on. They
Thank
never
you.
experienced it. Oh my
Thank
God.
you. You never saw your mother be loved. You never saw her be supported. So then
Mm,
where's your reference point on being a
mm.
wife?
Dang, this
Where's
is
it?
so
So
sad.
then we work out our curriculum once we get married. Two broken people coming together with the church shooting on them, and
Mm,
and
mm,
or
mm,
and whoop, and it's
mm.
deeper than that, because there are men with mother wounds too. And
Absolutely.
that's how come you find a lot of men are still trying to find mother in between the legs of any woman that he can,
Mm,
because he's
mm,
still trying to get nurtured by the womb that rejected him, that didn't love
mm,
him, and
mhm,
or didn't love the way that he needed to. So
mm,
when you hear women talking about you don't need a man and all of this,
mhm.
that is one of the most toxic teachings ever, because a lot of these people have sons. How can you even there are some groups of women who teach this good, that Cynthia said, I saw my mom get loved,
Ah, that's beautiful. Oops, oops, oops.
and my dad get the big piece of chicken plate served first, but it wasn't perfect. Okay.
Mm,
Yes. So we grew up with so many magical spaces in our culture that we just don't do anymore.
yeah.
I'm talking, listen, when I'm saying this, I'm saying start with Sunday dinner, start with
Mm,
gathering your family again. So
mm,
if you are saying that you are a chief, or that you're the one that's been called on, you have a responsibility to your family.
mm,
Even if they don't want to hear you. You know what I do when they gossip about each other? I remove myself.
mm.
Did you tell this one that you felt that way? Did you
Right.
go and talk to this? Can I facilitate can I mediate a conversation? Oh, baby, they get annoyed with you when you want to be the light too. But
Right.
guess what? The agenda stops,
Mm,
because
it's true.
sometimes you got to be the one to tell your mother and your aunties
Ooh.
how to mother. I've had to tell the elders sometimes, you're the one, they're looking to you for some wisdom. You don't talk
Mm,
about them, or get on the phone and tell such and such about them. Did you tell it to them?
mm, mm.
But what we do is we become little boys and girls and lose our voices and say, well, the same way we can't say that about our mama, we don't say it to mama. But you
Mm,
might be the one that she birthed, that needs to be the one to tell her, mama, you are out of order,
mhm, mhm.
in a respectful way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I've had my daughter, tell me to be quiet. My grandchildren are in the background, but
it's okay. You mama Kia.
thank you. I've had my daughter to have to sit me down and say, Mom, um, sometimes in our family dynamics, because we were raised under the patriarchy in the church. It's like sometimes you are a little too much on the patriarchal side, that you don't hear from the women that are hurting. And I had, I chose to, I didn't have to, but I chose to take accountability to say, you know what, let me sit down and be quiet and listen to what you're saying. And another thing she would say is, a lot of things that you all did just to keep the family together, or just to, not ruffle feathers, really didn't help us as the women. I was
It's
like,
true.
oh. God.
You know, when you want, remember when you were on my show and you said something and I said, "Oh, we don't say that over here. We don't do that over
I
here."
can't remember what it was though.
Yeah, but we do, and I still have young people who will have conversations. I have adopted a lot of nieces who
Mm.
cannot talk to their mothers,
Mhm.
um, who are angry with their mothers. But
Mhm.
aunties are supposed to be facilitators between
Mhm.
a daughter and her mother and
Wow.
add some value. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's your. But let me, because here's the thing, Dr. Kier,
Okay.
we are tribal people.
Yes, absolutely.
A woman is never supposed to be the only thing that's coming in contact with a baby. It is our baby.
As the community, as the
It's
tribe.
it's the community's baby.
Okay.
It's not even designed. You're supposed to that baby's supposed to pass from arm to arm. There
Mm.
would be no postpartum if we had a community and women could go to sleep while grandmother, auntie, big cousin holds that baby, takes care of that baby. But the moment we start to get into the possessive eye,
Mm.
my baby, but don't tell my child nothing.
Mm.
So now we have created this individualism. This is why we don't have economic development, and other people can come
Mhm.
over here and practice the principles of law that you
Mm.
are talking about, because they
Mhm.
do cooperative in economics. They each one teach one how to get a house. You get a house, I get a house. Because
Right.
why?
Yes.
We live in a house together until one gets enough for a down payment for the next house. And that's why they're in our neighborhoods, because
Mm.
they're practicing business and trust and other types of law that we have forgotten. They don't come over here under their social security number. They come over here and they get an EIN and they work it.
Mm. Come on.
So
Mm.
when Nick Shirley revealed the Somalian
Mm.
scandal, they were working all of the things in the system that has been left out for us. So yeah, that kind of thing, the
Mm.
fact that we are so turned off that we major in minor things,
Mm.
as long as they can keep us talking about race consciousness and racism. Oh, and Trump is a racist, and Trump, you don't have nothing else to say. That's all we're gonna talk about.
Right.
So it's our conversation has to elevate, and it feels so good
Mm.
to come into a space like this, because I know how to go into spaces and keep my mouth closed and not I
Mm.
do not cast my pearls amongst swine.
Woo. Okay.
I'm That's why your work and your unapologetic stance for what you,
Mm.
especially for being the queen and the voice of Nasara Jasara,
Thank you. Thank you.
we need that,
Yes, ma'am.
because it's important that we all have our specialties,
Mm.
so that once I do the healing work, and I
Mhm. Right.
once
Right.
we get the woman back into, now she can come and say, okay, oh, okay, now I've laid my foundation. I got my trust. I cleaned
That's
up
right.
my status. I've done this. Okay,
That's
now I
right.
understand my straw man. Okay, wait a
Mm.
minute. Okay, so now my social security number versus my, and when she comes to me and she's done this kind of work, now she can hear you on the Sarah Jacera. Now
Mm.
she can
Mm.
think about the land. But a lot
Mm.
of times when we hear educated fools, that
Yeah.
there are like, I could be her.
Mm.
I could
Mm.
be that. I came from a family that went to school, when
Mm.
that went got their degrees. Most
Mm.
of us are not. We don't talk about us. That 92%. We are gatekeeping a lot of the things that we've gone to the plantation to learn.
Wow.
And when
Mhm.
somebody tries to take it away from us, we call them hotep. We call them weird. We call them they. So I've paid the price.
Mm.
I paid
Mm.
the price of being the different one in my family. I paid the price of not necessarily entering into political conversations,
Mm.
because I don't do the same that they do. And some of you have too.
Mm.
But there's a reason for that, because in this season, you have to become the one. This is the year of the one.
One.
We're at the 0 point right now with
Mm.
this new year. And
Okay.
so my prayer for every woman that's listening, and every man who loves women, is that your prayers, your rituals, yes, I said rituals, that you will call on the resurrection of the woman and the presence of the great cosmic mother in your bloodline.
Mm. How can men, speaking of men, how can they support their woman?
Well, okay, so one of the things that men have to do is so there are certain ways that sometimes brothers present that they cannot hear it. They just cannot hear it.
Mm.
And so there are certain things that women need to hear from other women.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
sponsor her, enroll her in the rites of passage,
Love that.
get the book for her. Tell her to
Mm.
go, give her the link to go listen to someone that
Mm.
if you trying to be her everything, sometimes that's not what you're supposed to do. When I first came into more of commerce law and understanding that, my husband would tell me things,
Mm.
and listen to this one. It will be Taj Tariq Bey,
Mm-hmm.
who I ended up getting a chance to study with directly.
That's beautiful.
But when he first told me, I wasn't trying to hear all that, because I got free from religion. So
Mm.
anything that looked like bondage and religion and hotepness,
I see.
I wasn't trying to hear all that.
Mm. Mm.
Then one day, because I am already a seeker and a studier, he kept on. He kept making deposits lovingly, suggesting, nudging.
Mm.
And one day, there was this sister. Her name is also Sister Myra, not the Sister Myra that we see on 363. She's
Okay.
This Sister Myra is transition.
Mm.
And she broke down the Republic and the Democrat.
Mm.
She broke down what the Republic was, what the democracy meant. And she aligned it with spiritual principles. All the bells inside of me went off.
Mm.
But it was because the way that sister taught, I could hear.
You can receive it.
I could receive it because of the way that she broke it down. This is why I'm saying many more of us need to be talking and teaching and laying foundation. We don't have to be like each other to be able to have value. But when we come together, I know you are you are an alternative investment specialist. You are.
Thank you, sister.
You give a roadmap for the woman who has awakened, who says, okay, now I know this. What do I do with my money?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I know this. How can I secure my family? Well, guess what I do? I send them to I send your link out all the time. When people want to argue with the history and say, well, I don't know, I don't agree with that. Such and such is an agent, such and such is this. I send them to Rod Hayes. Go watch Young Elder. Go watch Rod. Right? But I've been knowing about Chief Warhorse, because like that.
Right.
I send them to other places that they can hear. Sometimes people can't hear from you.
That's right.
Even in your own house. Get your ego out of the way. There will be people who will have the light turned on, and they won't come back to you and say that you are the one who did it.
That's right.
Don't trip. Keep it moving.
Because one person plants, another one waters.
Absolutely.
But God gives the increase.
But God gives the increase. but when you are able to acknowledge those who have come before you, those whose back you stand on, it is also next level. See,
Mm,
when you hear Rod come, who does he say? He says who he reports to, who his chief is.
he does.
Everybody I got a chief.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
report.
Mm-hmm.
But all these chiefs, let's say, and no Indians,
A bunch of chiefs and no Indians. I
that's
got
dangerous.
I got a question when we're talking about the big mama.
Hmm.
Lately I've been hearing men, and I don't know if it's the new generation men, they've been coming online and saying, I don't want to lead. They've been saying it's not always the man that's supposed to lead. I'm like, wow. They've been saying that's why we're hurting, we're struggling. All this burden that's on us, all this level of response. Some of us can't take all this. I was like, they were like, sometimes a woman can do certain things better than we can. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, did you say young men?
Yes.
Who raised them?
Well, here we go. Okay. Mm,
Who raised them? We have a
mm.
lot of young men that are more estrogenated than any woman.
Okay.
They
Okay.
process their emotions like women
Mm,
because they've been raised by women who they don't have any example of how to process. So, there's another sister who talks about how the man really is an inverted woman. So when we start talking
mm.
about parthenogenesis and that type of thing, that's another show.
Right.
I'm not- but but when we talk about young men of today, who raised them?
That's a good question. A lot of men in our community have been raised by mama.
And so
You're
when they
right.
get in a relationship with a woman, they're processing like a woman, and a woman oftentimes has more testosterone,
Mm.
more bravado than the man, and so she can't respect anything that's just like her.
Whoa. Okay. Mm. Good
So
point.
that's another intervention that
Mm.
is needed
Mm.
with our boys as well.
Okay. Okay.
um Absolutely.
Mm.
um and it's hard for a woman to come out of her feminine to access
Mm.
masculine energy to match the masculine energy of her
Mm.
boy. I've seen many of my people in my family who have had to struggle with that. It's not that our sisters wanted to,
Yeah.
but in many cases they felt like they had no choice, and when they
Mhm.
asked for help, it was very limited,
Yeah.
um, and that type of thing. So, but when we look at these boys talking like this, they are a direct reflection, oftentimes, of being raised with
Mhm.
no man in the house. And so
Mhm.
there's a whole thing that we need to have conversations with our young girls who are penalized. They're having babies with men, penalizing the man
Mm.
if the man doesn't want to be with her.
Yeah.
So there's an epidemic of men who want to be in their children's lives, but they cannot be in their
Mm.
children's lives because the woman is punishing the man or demeaning the man and talking bad about the man. So you have children growing up with
Mm.
resentment because they're carrying the water of their mother and their father's business and not knowing how to
Mm.
process all of that anger. So when
Mm.
we talk about the breakdown in our families, don't think it's just the young generation.
Okay.
This also started with a lot of older people who we said we couldn't check, we couldn't call, we couldn't say nothing to them. They
Mm-hmm.
did it. I will say that I came from a family where the women in my family never they didn't do that.
Okay.
There are a lot of women who don't who they didn't do that. They did everything they could to supplement and
Mm.
supply access to their children's father. But
Mm.
there's an epidemic of children being snatched out of their father's life.
Wow.
And it was Minister Farrakhan who I heard. That could have also been me
Mm.
because um, I've had a breakdown with my father that could have torn us completely apart because I couldn't process everything that was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And I remember Minister Farrakhan teaching on the Stop the Killing tour. He said,
Mm.
God did not make you judge of your father.
Woo,
And
that's
I could,
powerful.
I know, and I was like, really? So he kept on teaching and he
Mm.
talked about how we come through them. And I
Mm.
went home that summer. I
Mm.
had stopped speaking to my father.
Okay.
And I went home and practiced immediately what Minister Farrakhan taught.
Mm.
And I didn't even have to say I'm sorry but something opened in my
Mm.
father where, but eventually it opened in me
I
too,
see.
because I continued with my own work. When
Mm.
you know who you are, you stop focusing so much on the wound of what they've done or didn't
Mm.
do. And you start to understand that maybe you were the one that was born to be the love that they never knew.
Wow.
You may
Wow.
have been the one that was born to remind them of who they are.
Mm. Mm.
And it took me a while to stop being a victim of
Mm.
my own father's emotional unavailability at times. But baby,
Mm.
when I started to do it,
Mm.
the conversations that would seemingly come out of nowhere with my father healed me,
Mm. Mm.
freed me.
Wow. Wow.
So when my father left here before it was time, I didn't have to cry tears of coulda, shoulda, woulda,
Mm.
because I said everything. I asked the questions to the point that when he got to the point of tired of asking, answering questions, my father would say things to me, that's none of your business because that's between me and your mother. And that's the truth.
Okay.
What goes on between your mama and your daddy,
Mm.
some of that don't have anything to do with you. And
Mm.
if you know where your father is,
Mm.
you don't have to be best buddies with him, but you need it for the genealogy information. You need to be able
Mm.
to connect, to know where you come from.
Mm.
So it's worth it
Yeah.
in the long run if we can do our work.
Mm.
And I know I feel like
Mm.
I think we've been so excited to get here. In here, I didn't even know I was this full.
It's beautiful. How can people get in contact with you if they want to do the work?
So, first of all, I would say everybody go download that Yes I Can Manifest, because
Okay.
we're coming into a very, April is a very powerful time for feminine abundance. Remember, Taurus is governed by Venus. And so you
Mm.
got so Venus governs love, sex, and money. So when you talk
Oh,
about abundance, this is a good time in going into April. But we're in this corridor of clearing and releasing. One, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I
okay.
often do live streams on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. I do for over 5 years. I've been doing a first Sunday on Sunday mornings where I teach the metaphysics. Right now, we're in a um, season of exploring your spiritual gifts. The title and the theme this year is Becoming the One. Your
Mm.
spiritual gifts are calling. Because if the scripture says our gifts make room for us,
Mhm.
Dr. Kia, not only is money changing in the way that we do banking, money is changing in the way that we service. We're going to have to get back to bartering.
Ooh.
We're going
Okay.
to have to be able to know what our gifts are, because our gifts are going to make room for us in this new paradigm, in this new season. So the thing that you have thought is not good for you, so come on Sunday and get some more of this. Of course, my link tree, you can go to rebirth with LaTonia.info if you want to know more about some of my programs. Rebirth with LaTonia.info.
I'll bring it up.
Rebirth with LaTonia.info. And you can find where you fit. That there, I do the work by doors. So you come
Okay.
in and do the Fab Factor, 7 days. If you
Mm.
want some more, then we go further. And then
Is this only for women? Sorry.
yes, it's only for women. It's
Okay.
only for women. I'm going to be doing some more work. You know, the Metaphysical University at Hillside will include some of the men's programs for that,
Okay.
where I have been serving as provost there. So we have some good things coming that will include the men as well. But I do quite a bit now of identity mapping. So you see, all of that is in
I
there.
see.
In terms of your Shero's journey, I take women through what I call your Shero's journey or
Okay.
heroine's journey, so that we can continue to cross the threshold of becoming the priestess of our own household.
And we had talked about earlier that men could support their wives and or their companions or the women in their lives, and that would be very therapeutic for the whole family. Maybe.
Absolutely, honey. I've had men write letters to me thanking me for the
Wow.
kind of wife that after they complete 6 months of rites of passage work with me,
Mm.
because there's something that happens when a woman turns on, but not just turns on at the physical, but turns on mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Mm.
It has to turn on financially.
Mm. That is awesome. I put your links in the comments, and I put the link to the book as well. But I didn't see, where do we download the manifestation?
So it's in my link tree and it's called
Okay.
Yes, You Can Manifest. I think it's available. I
Yes.
think you can see it.
Okay,
It's
I'll
the
bring it up.
very first thing on my link tree. I'm
Okay.
looking at it. You should be
Okay.
able to see it. It says, Yes, you can manifest juicy
Is this
prosperity.
it?
Yes, you can. Oh, let me look. I was going to look for you.
That
Yes.
might be it. Okay, I got to accept cookies, I think.
Yep. Yes, you can manifest.
Oh, right here, right
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
Get that book. It's free
thank you.
tonight for 24 hours for Dr. Kia's esteemed, educated, elevated audience.
We're so grateful. Thank you.
And
That's
then if you want to do the 7-day process, it's self-paced, and
okay.
you can just get in and use this formula. I call it the juicy formula: joyfully unveiling intimacies created. Yes, juicy stands for joyfully unveiling intimacy. Into me I see
Mm.
intimacies creative. Yes, because we have to be able to say yes to ourselves.
Ooh. I just put that in the chat. Joyfully unveiling intimacy, creative. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Family, I see you all saying that you've been really blessed and touched by Dr. LaTonia's work and her words here. So if you would like to give I would encourage you to give a donation, because if we bless others, if we bliss others and pour into them, then the universe will pour back into us. But she's pouring into many of us. I see people say they were healing in the chat. I'm sorry, not my name. So let's put up Dr. LaTonia's. I apologize for that. Dr. LaTonia's PayPal here is paypal.me slash.
Or Cash App,
Oh, that's the Cash App?
Rebirth
Okay.
by LaTonia, Rebirth by LaTonia, Cash App.
Okay. So they could do
I
PayPal
mean,
or Cash
I'm
App?
sorry, Rebirth by LT. There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Or PayPal.
Hmm.
So I think my tribe is in here.
Let's
Shout out
see.
to yep. Some of them have been in here.
Okay.
I've seen Tamara. I've seen a few. I think I saw Karen. I've seen a few. I come from many different tribes, so it's no telling where people are coming from in here. But thank you for those who came and joined Mama Kia.
And the good Dr. LaTonia.
We have to do this again and keep
Okay.
doing it and
Yes,
keep
ma'am.
doing it, because our sisters need us during
Okay.
this time.
Any final words, Doctor?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've just been talking myself.
It's
Listen,
been healing. It's been very therapeutic. It really has been.
you all who are under the sound of my voice, you are source code.
Mm.
You are the mathematics. You are. You are the recipe. You are everywhere in nature. You are. You are the frequency that can heal this earth. When when it said that the earth would be healed by the Western woman, it's you. It's you remembering and standing on who you are unapologetically. And it's layers. So be patient with yourself. It is worth you investing in yourself, because you will get a return on your investment in you. And then the law of abundance can only do the same. And it takes a lot to learn how to surrender. And I know that that's not always easy for us, because many of us are used to being in control. And it's in the surrender where we are made stronger. So I come and let's have conversation in sacred spaces. This is not somebody, we don't need to talk under our dress here. We don't need to talk about everything out in the open. Come into sacred containers where it's a safe place for you to explore, for you to deconstruct, for you to reconstruct what it is that you are called to build. What gift is calling you forward? What archetype of the goddess is sitting inside of you that's born for a time and a season such as this?
That was awesome. That was beautiful. You talked about archetype of the goddess. Do you teach that
Oh
archetypes?
yes, absolutely. Because these archetypes are everything that we must know. Because
Wow.
this is how we work together. This is how we know ourselves. This is how. So genealogy is the beginning of it. But
Okay.
then there is also what I call blueprinting. You must know your own blueprint. This is why you see me do readings. So I do the natal chart reading that I call the blueprint reading. I do frequency reading. I see somebody asking about the med beds. Let me tell you something about. I have a technology that is handheld. It's like
Woo.
the med bed in your hand,
Wow.
where you can send yourself frequencies. So I do frequency readings so that your Akashic record can tell you through your chakras, your meridians, and your organs where you are out of alignment. And then then who you gonna argue with? Argue with yourself, because
Come on.
yourself is talking. So that's why when you see on my link tree that there are certain readings that I give, nobody works with me without a reading, and I don't do coaching. I don't.
Okay.
We're beyond that. We need to do
Mm.
re-education,
Okay.
unlearning and relearning, unlearning and
Mm.
relearning. And what do we have to learn
Okay.
is who we are. Your
Mm.
codes are inside of you. So I teach women how to decode, to find their codes and use those codes to access desire, abundance, healing, and also assignment. So yeah, that's
Mm.
the work. That's my
I want to
work now.
bring up your link tree again. That this is powerful. I'm so grateful. I'm so full right now, and I'm excited because people have been asking me a lot about the med beds. And we've heard it's going to be out in April, but we've heard those dates before. It's going to be out. It's going to be out. So it's good that we have something right now.
There
And
is
you
other
said this is.
technology besides med beds that is broken into pieces, and this is one of those technologies. I'm going to be
Mm.
teaching people how to use this technology in unique to your gifts. So that
Mm.
is the work. There's two doorways to get to me, and really
Okay.
soon there will not be. I will not be doing any readings. I will only be teaching
Mm.
other experts and professionals. So get it
Mm.
while the link is still up there, because I won't be doing readings real soon. Not like that.
Okay. And that's on your link tree.
All of it's there. You can choose a frequency reading or a blueprint reading. How do you get the gift? Is go to the very first link that says, yes, I can manifest juicy prosperity. Yes, I can manifest juicy prosperity. That's the very first thing on the tree.
I'll show it to you, family. Here's her website here. The link tree is in the chat. I'll put it also in the. It's already in the description section of the video. I'll put it
Right
in there
there.
earlier, right
Yep.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's only for a limited time. It's only
Yeah,
until I
and then
think she said
after that
25.
it'll be, yeah, after that it may be $9 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So no questions?
any questions, family? Come on with the questions. Let's see. Any questions, family? She's gonna stay on a little while and give us some answers to our questions. Okay, she answered how to get the gift. It's on her link tree. Thank you, Sister Janine. That's our moderator. We're always happy to see you
Thank you,
here.
Sister Janine.
Oh, what's the instrument that you talk about? You spoke about it. They said that's the instrument.
So
Oh, that
yeah,
Dr. G talked about. I don't know.
yeah, that's the instrument, and Dr. G and I use similar technology. What it does is it records your voice, and
Okay.
from your voice, it reads the frequency around your body. Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, family. If you have questions, we want to honor Dr. LaTonia Taylor's time and let her go get some rest and food. But she's graced us with some time to ask her question. Any other questions? They said, "Oh, you are so welcome. You are the code." Yes. The diva said, this is so empowering.
Oh, give thanks. You know what? We're not. I don't do empowerment because you are power. You are the power.
Okay.
You are the grid.
Wow.
That's so I appreciate that, but you are the power.
Wow. What is the code for the book?
No code. You should just be able to go and click on it, put your name and email, and download it.
Your date. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Ma'am, go ahead.
No, yes, your day and time and location. Yes, that's right. You do need to know your date, your birth date, your birth time, and your location. If you do not know your birth time, I can work with it. But speaking of which, many of you need to get a copy of the long form of your birth certificate. When we start talking about you becoming we talk about Black's Law Dictionary, the straw man, civilier mortuus, our status. You need to have the long form of your birth certificate. That's just a start. When we start talking about wealth and we start talking about access to money, how are you going to do that if you're talking about that the birth certificate is a bond, but you only have the short version that they give to? Yeah.
And you can get that from the state in which you were born.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Thank you so much. This has been truly activating.
Yeah.
Somebody says, can you give an example of a source code? Would it be the same as quantum code?
Yes, it would be the same as quantum code. There are many different codes, but just the fact that we are talking about the matrix, let's just deal with the basics, ones and zeros. Okay. I came in talking about ones and zeros. But where are ones and zeros in our lives, in terms of that? So just the ones and zeros are source codes that are being used to create technology and AI. You literally are the code for that. So there are other numbers that you can say and line up and that type of thing. But when I'm talking about source code, I'm also talking about your Akashic record. I'm talking about your divine communication. I'm talking about the codes that you were born with when you understand your blueprint, when you understand who you are. I was born to be an educator. I've tried to do many things, but that's a code within me. And so now I don't fight that code. I was born to be disruptive. But if you are trying to fit in, then so your code tells you what you need to heal, what shadow work, what lessons you came here to learn. So I hope I answered your question, Queen.
That's beautiful. Sister Janine says she has her long form birth certificate, but doesn't know what to do next.
That's another class. I don't teach it out in public. Other people do, but not me.
You have to reach out to her in private, sis, and I'll send you LinkedIn, but the link tree is in the comment section. But you have my personal number, Sister Janine. I can
Come
give
into
you.
the Fab Factor. We do. Let me tell you
Okay.
something. In the Fab Factor, we give you the basics. I had a whole bonus section called Money Moves that explain everything that we're talking about. Do you know that 80% of the people, the women who come in, do not pay attention to the money codes, to the money moves?
Really?
They don't ask me any questions about the long form birth certificate. They don't ask the questions because I'm telling you, psychologically, a job has been done on us that most of us are just trying to get out of pain.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Can't get to the money if you're in pain. Can't even talk about it or think about it.
Yes, I share.
Thank you, Sister Cora says this is so powerful. That was so powerful.
Give thanks.
What if you're born in South America? My birth certificate has a QR code.
Oh my God. QR codes
Democracy.
are new. QR
Mm.
codes are new. You need to be able to ask for what existed before the QR code. So you would have to go to your administration and ask for that. All you got to do is tell them that you needed to enter into another country. But don't get me started. Don't ask me no more questions about no birth certificate because I don't really want to talk about that in public.
You'll have to contact her in private, family.
It's enough people out here talking about that kind of thing.
Brother Kevin asked, where can I find the male version of this discussion?
That is a very good question. I have, I mean, there are several spaces for men who I'm laughing because I don't want to put you into any place, just like you mentioned Kenya Stevens. Well, they focus on polyamory. I wouldn't just send somebody over to that. But there are spaces for brothers. I want to say, can I get back with you?
She want to get back with you on that, Brother Kev. That was a great question.
There is a book that came to my remembrance, and it went poof. I want to tell you the name of this book that speaks about all of this. Do you watch Dr. Kia's show often? I promise you I'll get back with her. I'm so focused on the sisters. Yes.
You'll get back with me and we'll make sure it gets to you, Brother Kevin. Are men allowed to reach? I'm not allowed, but do they reach out to you on the link tree? Or is it just
four?
It has to be for a certain right.
What do if you want a birth chart reading? But no,
it has to be a sacred space for women, right?
Yes, that's I know my lane. I stay in my lane.
I understand that.
Oh, who is this? Sunshine.
Oh, wow.
Tears are cleansing, so don't feel weakened by tears. There's not enough of us who have made peace with purposeful tears. Wow. Your tears have a purpose. There are so many women dehydrated emotionally because you think that there's something wrong with crying.
Wow.
And so sometimes when we are purposeful, our tears wet the wound. When we're crying as a victim, that's different. When we're using our tears as a manipulation or an escape. But there are times when there are women who've been so strong, so alpha, so shielded that you need, before you can ever have the soft life, you got to soften. So many hard women who say they want the soft life, but we have to soften. And so your tears are sacred. And in Islam, remember, in the nation, we were taught that Allah hates to see a woman crying. That's how special you are.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
I had another something. Somebody else said something. Let me see. Preach. And somebody asked if you work with people, with women out of the country. Let me see. Does the sister work with people outside of America?
I definitely have. It depends on what we're talking about. Each culture has their own psychological cross to carry, so to speak.
Mm.
And it's important for us to understand that not all things apply. This conversation about blackness, it does not really exist for some cultures. They don't need to talk about that because they know who they are. They
Mm.
know their tribal name. They know their genealogy. They can speak their native language and tongue. And
Mm.
so that's a different type of individual. I've seen them in boardrooms move differently. They don't move, even they don't talk even in the boardroom in executive meetings the same way American Black people talk. And so it does depend. There's also some cultures where patriarchy is so strong that they have to be careful in terms of what they say and who they tell, because women get taken out. Again, we take for granted that womanhood is as liberating. That's why you have a lot of women going over to countries and getting a very stark reminder when they go over there with all that mouth to the
Mhm.
Uber driver, to the African who does not love you. And so they treat you as such as well.
Mhm. Mm.
Golden said, I done cried so much I can't cry
Oh,
anymore.
wow.
that's that's so
Very
precious.
healing.
That's so precious.
Oh, Dr. Pruitt, please see my above question. Okay, Sister Vixen, can you put it in it? Let
The
me see.
way of the superior man. I knew it was gonna pop in.
Oh,
The
okay.
brother, the way of the superior man. That's one of them.
Okay.
Another book for husbands is Man of Steel and Velvet. That's another one for
Mm.
husbands or men who want to be
Man,
uh,
still
men
and
who want to
velvet.
be husbands.
Okay.
That's an old book. It may be very difficult to find. The author is his I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Andaline. This is a book that we used to read in the Nation of Islam. The husbands would read Man of Steel and Velvet. The women would read Fascinating Womanhood. But I do highly. Now this book is out of print, but I'm gonna keep on talking on Dr. Suzar Epps just as much as I talk about my own book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about this woman. She is
Okay.
offline. She does not want to come back to the public right now, but
Mm.
she is literally a healing source who talks
Mm.
about organite, another healing way to
Okay.
use crystals in our homes to
Okay.
divert radiation. She's an amazing source. And get my book, y'all. I'm about to relaunch this book in July with a
Okay.
different color and adding 3 different chapters. So we're going to have a special juicy relaunch here in Atlanta. I wish you could come, Dr.
Oh,
Kia.
give me, yes, ma'am. Please send me the information.
Okay.
So I will do my best to be there. Oh, somebody says, oh, you have that book.
All right, miracles.
Now I saw the book. It was on. Where should we get it from? Do you have it on your
My
website?
website. Get the digital
Okay.
copy. I'm really trying to take my book down off of Amazon. If I had known better, I would have done better and would not have ever put my book up there. That's free game to those of you who are authors,
Okay.
to know that about
Mm.
Amazon. So,
Here it is. I see the book now. Don't. Okay. Put it. People should create their own website.
well, yeah, there are other publishing houses that don't keep as much of your profits.
Oh.
I have literally deleted my book so many times, and do you know Amazon keeps on putting it back up there, and they will. I think I might get $3
Whoa.
from my book. So the
Whoa.
authors, it's important for you to know that.
Mm.
So, oh wow, yes, Janine, it's pretty messed up. Yep, keep that in mind for small publishing
Mm.
solo authors. Yep, gonna be doing some more with that. Yeah, 60% cut is it absolutely right.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, indeed.
All right, family, if you would like to donate to or send a love offering, I like that word, a love offering to our Dr. LaTonia, the Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor, then you can send a love offering to her PayPal at rebirth by LT. That is the PayPal. And the Cash App, let me see if I can get to the Cash App. It's the same
Yes, rebirth by LT.
dollar
I
sign.
see. I see a question here, Dr. Kia, that I think
Okay.
is a worthy question. It says,
Okay.
do you work with white women too, or is your work geared toward Black women? I have loved this, and yes, absolutely. I have had many um, of our Anglo-Saxon sisters come in to the space and do the work. But I always say this: we have had to go into so many spaces and translate the information where we have been omitted. So you come in, you get it, it's universal, you can use it. And trust me, I have right now a spiritual daughter. Her flesh is white, but she says that her ancestors told her that I was her mother in another lifetime. What am I
Wow.
what am I gonna do? Right, so I don't do that anymore, that limitation.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, how are we as mothers assisting our children during this time in a purposeful way? I teach my babies what I know, but on their level, especially my daughter. I want to make sure she knows her power. First, there's several ways that you can assist your daughter. First of all, you first. Mama goes first. So what do you know? What have you had to unlearn? And so when you're talking to her, don't just give her your representative. Give her you. Who were you as a little girl? And then, are you in relationship with your medicine cabinet? Do you know how to repurpose herbs? Do you know how to teach her what teas to drink when she gets her cycle? Plan a celebration for your daughter when she comes on her cycle, instead of what our mothers did, who told us you better not bring no babies in our house, and started the fear-based
That's
conversation.
true.
So celebrate her growth and development, and teach her about her body parts. And if you don't know yours, then learn with her, and that's okay. So that's how you begin to do that. You don't have to be their little friend, but you certainly can be in relationship with your daughter. That's a very excellent question, because some mothers are not asking it because the mama sometimes wants to tell what to do instead of learning together and unlearning together.
But what if the daughter is an adult? Is it a different?
Especially with the adults, because there are a lot of women who come and they have their awakening and doing the work with me, and what they do is they say, I didn't know. I said, okay, now you go back to your daughter and you tell her, I didn't know when I taught you this, I didn't know this. Forgive me. Here's what I know now.
That's
Humble
beautiful.
yourself. My mother humbled herself to me when she realized the damage that she did with the things she said and the depression that she was going through. She said, I didn't know, baby. She said, I'm so sorry. And so what am I going to do? Be angry with her forever? No. So it's important for us to go back to our adult girls, because that daughter is going to have children.
Right.
And we want our grandchildren and grandnieces to be able to do this. My niece has checked me, and I have had to just say, okay, baby, all right, you're right, you got it.
Wow. Wow.
Now, if a child is mentally disabled, okay, now that child has a spirit. So the physical may be disabled, but the spirit of that child may be able to communicate in ways that you can't.
Wow. Okay.
So this is why understanding also meditation and being able to go into the theta state when the child is sleeping and communicate to their spirit while they're sleeping. That's for any mother. Disabled child, troubled child, quote unquote. The other thing is mothers have to know these sciences. When we talk about rituals and we talk about herbs and medicine, you got to become the medicine women so that you can bathe certain things. You can do spiritual baths over your children. You need to be able to know how to consecrate your children, how to take a piece of their clothing when they won't listen to you. Come on now, we got to come in sacred containers. Everything you can learn on here, you got to come in sacred containers. That's the problem. Too many young people are talking and doing way too much of this on public platforms. The science of womanhood is an art. It is something that is supposed to be done in sacred spaces.
I see. Ashe. Family, I'm putting all of Dr. LaTonia Taylor's information. I just put it in the description section because some of it was missing there of this video. Let's see. Any other questions, family? Remember, you can support Dr. LaTonia Taylor at Cash App, $Rebirth by LT, or PayPal at Rebirth by LT.
Shout out to all the brothers who are hanging on and listening. You matter, brothers. You matter. We love you. We adore you. We appreciate you. And we thank you for being willing to listen to this type of conversation, because you may be able to be the one that sometimes women can't even hear from other women. Sometimes they have to hear from a big brother. But you have a responsibility that you cannot be predatory in any way. So you got to do your shadow work as well. Yes.
We had another question, Doctor. Can there be help for those who are mentally ill? Sister Monica says, I want to help a family member that has schizophrenia.
Well, first you have to get them stabilized. You cannot help anyone that's not stable. That even goes with low-level depression. Some of us need to get the chemical balance in order so that we can receive higher wisdom. Because what happens is when you start to receive higher wisdom or unlock what's called Kundalini energy, and you pair it with someone who is mentally unwell, it creates more mental health issues. So, and sometimes I was taught this by a master teacher, that sometimes the people that we think are not well, they actually are other gifted. They're not as unwell as we think, but this society cannot handle them. And so it takes a special person to be able to get through. But first, you have to be able to stand, to get them stable.
I know somebody who was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I had a conversation with her recently, and I was like, you have more wisdom and knowledge than anybody I know. She has taught me so many different things. And I'm like, are you sure you have that diagnosis? She said, yeah, I've been to a doctor. She said, she hears voices, but oftentimes the voices are telling her things that voice don't say to everybody else.
Have you heard the story of Dr. Emoto who healed an entire mental health ward with simply going in on the ward each night, doing Ho'oponopono? That's where Ho'oponopono was born. Okay. And it's, I'm sorry, thank you, please forgive me, I love you. I'm sorry, please. So that's Ho'oponopono. Okay. And so he would go into the mental health ward, and he would see each one of the patients and their diagnosis. And he would do the Ho'oponopono in meditation repetitiously, sending the energy to each one, that they literally closed the ward because the people began to heal. Wow. Dr. Emoto, his work is called Ho'oponopono. Somebody type that in the chat if you know how to spell it. And it is a Hawaiian technique of being able to tap in. When we talk about the 0 point, it's called by many names, that womb consciousness of meditation, of being able to go to the 0 point in meditation, and you're able to communicate with all souls at that level. So Ho'oponopono is something that you can do for family members, especially for family members who can't talk about certain things, won't talk about certain things. You can use that particular technique.
Is it okay? He's an Asian gentleman,
Yes,
Emoto.
yes,
Okay,
Dr.
thank you,
Emoto.
Emoto. I'm gonna have to look him up. I see his YouTube channel here.
Okay. I didn't
Wow.
even know he had a YouTube. That's him.
Okay. Oh, we have to check him out. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I say this has been so enriching, or are we the enriching? Are we the enricher?
Because we rich. We
That part.
rich.
Hey, hey.
Yes.
Somebody put it in the chat. Okay, hit the like button, family. Also go to Dr. LaTonia. Somebody asked me, who is Dr. LaTaylor, Kia? I'm sorry, Dr. LaTonia Taylor. go to Dr. LaTonia's YouTube channel and subscribe there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, Ho'oponopono. Thank you.
Yes, Doctor. Thank you, Nefertari. That's my girl. She's also a powerhouse source of health and wellness.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
Herbalist.
for being here.
Yes, yes, yes.
You might want to come on the show and teach us about the herbs, sister.
Yeah.
Somebody says, I think Dr. B has talked about him. Dr. B?
Possibly.
Oh, Dr. G or Dr. B? I'm not sure.
Dr. B Serious is who they're talking
Oh, Dr. B, serious.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you have any advice for pregnant women?
Well, I mean, it depends. What kind?
Mm.
What first of all, you need, every thought, every prayer, every conversation is definitely something that is happening in your womb. So you need to be having conversations with the baby, playing frequency music for the baby, frequency tones for the baby, making sure that everybody around you is communicating. The baby will know the voices when he or she comes out. Keeping yourself in going into a meditative state, making an agreement with the baby, asking the baby to show you who he or she is. So where do we start with what advice do I have for the baby? You are so sacred, you are so precious, and so you get to treat yourself as such. You're planning for your birth, making sure that you have certain sounds in the room with you, that you sage the room when you prepare for birth, if you can, if you're having a non-traditional birth. Having a midwife is a gift to you. Having your family around you when you don't give birth alone. Have your community there. And so that you can transition, you into the next phase very easily.
Thank you. Sister Sunshine says, thank you for the show. I didn't know I needed it. Wow. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh, yes.
Any final questions, family? We want to give our doctor some time to go spend with her family. We've taken up a lot of your time, doctor. Oh,
I don't know who that is, but Dr. Emoto is the person who does the Ho'oponopono.
I say, Sister Angela says, I say.
Ashe.
Okay, so the first step, if somebody wants to get in contact with you, is to go to your link tree.
Yeah, that's everything.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And get the Yes, I Can manifest. I love giving gifts. So get the gift. It's free for 24 hours. There's some other freebies at the link. You can get a whole human design report as well. You can, I do human design as well, but I do that more for business owners.
Okay. What is human design?
Oh, Dr. Kia, we definitely will have to do another show, but
okay.
So
I would
human
love that.
design is energy types.
Oh.
And it's very much like your natal chart, but it's based off each one of those energy types tells you a lot about how to govern yourself, how to manifest, how to know when you're frustrated, when you're not, like things you need to do. So
Okay.
astrology tells you the what, human design tells you the how.
I see.
Hmm.
And that's important because I know I've had a lot of readings on what you need to know about yourself, but sometimes I don't know what to do with that. I have to pray and seek God, but I love that you
Right,
offer
right, right.
that the
Oh yeah,
solution.
they're talking about Dr. Emoto is with the water. You're absolutely right.
Oh,
That water has memory. Yes, he did.
mm, mm.
But look up Ho'oponopono. If I'm wrong, just look up Ho'oponopono. I know for sure that it's a Ho'oponopono.
Mm.
So
I all this information that I'm finding out now, I wish I knew this 25 years ago.
listen, you and me both, honey. 25. I mean, I some of the so listen, 25 years ago, I was a metaphysician. But
Okay.
let me tell you, that's why I don't care if you're a Moor, I don't care if you're a Jehovah's Witness, whatever you are, we have to be able to give ourselves permission to let one thing go so that we can find out new information, or information can be revealed to us.
Mm.
I should say it like that. So just think about it. 25 years ago, could you have handled certain conversations about aliens, about sex magic, right? So sometimes
Right.
we got to start at just peeling a layer back so
Mm.
that we can receive the next thing. That's why we do have to be mindful that certain adept conversation a neophyte can't handle. And there
Mhm.
are a lot of neophytes with college degrees. There are a lot of
Mm.
neophytes that's on the news station and giving political commentary. They're
Mm.
neophytes. And
Mm.
some of them have taken an oath to keep you in the dark,
Mm.
because we have secret societies amongst us with people who look like us, but they ain't for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ho'oponopono is a frequency, not just a prayer. It brings peace and harmony back to your
Absolutely.
soul.
That's
Wow.
that's right. That's right.
Lulu.
It's a chant.
Mm.
Yep. So just look up Ho'oponopono. It's everywhere, and you will be able to find how to. It's really. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Literally, that's it. But it's a way to get yourself into a meditative state to be able to do it. You can do this with many other things. I forgive everybody for everything. And you
Mm.
don't have to know what. There it is. Thank you, Dr. Edgewick. It's Dr. Hugh Lynn. That's another one. Dr.
Okay.
Hugh Lynn. Dr. Emoto is definitely the water. Dr. Hugh Lynn. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm. That's the Ho'oponopono?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Sister Nadine. Hi, it's good to see you, Sister Nadine. She said, yes, I knew I was also raised in a Jehovah's Witness religion. She said it was awful.
Okay. What was done to many of us? Religion is more addictive. A psychologist said that religion is 5 times addictive as than the strongest heroin.
Wow. Wow.
So religious addiction is a real thing. And this is why it's so difficult for our people sometimes to give up. They'll fight you. They'll take you down because Dr.
I
King,
do. I do. I
they'll
do.
fight you because that's intentional. We're under a spell. So many of us are breaking spells, and people will fight you because
Mm.
they don't know they're under a spell.
Right. Mm.
Yeah.
Sekhmet Fire Goddess in the house. She said, wow, I've been saying these things. I've been saying those 3 statements after each prayer, not knowing why. It was just intuition.
Look at that. See what I'm saying? Your
Yes.
Akashic records came online.
Akashic records are remembering past lives. Is that what that is?
Yes, all of the records of your lives. Yes.
Mm. Do you
Yeah.
help people recover those or tap into
I mean,
those?
I on when I do the frequency readings, yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
But I really believe that when a woman does her shadow work, when we opened up talking about being born again, that is accessing those records.
Mm.
Yes.
Thank you, Musically Divine says God spell equals gospel.
Yep, you got to
It's a
be careful
spell.
of some of the songs that we sing. Although in certain traditions, we do sing some of the songs that our grandmothers sang so that we can access something else. So don't cancel it out too
Mm.
much.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a church or a service and you don't sing the song anymore, but you get to rocking and singing that song, and you remember when your grandmother sing it.
Yes.
Remember. So what are you doing? You're calling in the energy of grandmother when you're singing.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of judging it, understand how you're going to use it.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
Mhm.
What'd you say? I am Miss Love. I've always been very spiritual, and if I had the right people around, I would have been able to know how to constructively use my gifts. Like now, I need help. I'll give you one. I'll give you one.
We all need help. That's why we choose this path, and we get in alignment with those who can help us.
Mm.
Sometimes we keep on going back to the people who can't help us.
Mm.
Just because they have our last name doesn't mean that they have the capacity to help. But
Right.
just like the prodigal son who had to go away from his father, he went away, but the inheritance already was his, but he had to go away. Okay. And if you look at every analogy of that, just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, she had to walk down the yellow brick road to only for her to find that the power was in her all
All
of
the time. Segment Fire Guy that says, y'all do not understand how
it.
much I'm in gratitude. The tears are flowing like a river. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh wow.
Mm,
Ashe.
I say. I
Very.
was raised in Jehovah Witness also, and I left in 2014 to never return, Sister Valerie said. It's a double-edged sword. I have to be careful, choose to be intentional, and not use blind faith, Musically said.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's important to have a discussion about reaching out when you need help because at least in the tradition in which I was raised, you weren't, I don't want to say you weren't allowed, but it was frowned down. You was going to get a counselor, going to get any type of relief from mental health issues was frowned upon because
Mhm.
Jesus is your doctor. Jesus is the one that's supposed to help you with your problems. But we had a lot of hurt people who
Absolutely.
couldn't.
I was told by a woman heavily in church. She was a leader in the church when she came to do some work to heal, do some healing.
Mhm.
She told me that she was taught in her denomination that the heart is evil, and so you can't trust it. So when was talking about healing
Mm.
your heart, she was scared because she had been
Oh,
so programmed that the heart was evil. But see, these are people who have taken literal translations and not gone into metaphysical. The heart in scripture represent the subconscious mind. So
mm.
anybody that's telling you this to be afraid of something that belongs to you is moving you further away from your godhood and your God self. But that's intentional. So
Mm. Mm.
yes,
Clapping your hands and singing is frequency.
that's right. You're
Tapping
tapping
into,
into the mitochondria. I didn't
wow.
even get, look, who is that? Tim, I didn't even get on the mitochondria tonight intentionally because that's another conversation for the mito. But it's nice to see people using the word because the
Mhm.
average woman doesn't even know the power of her mitochondria DNA. So when we're talking about genealogy and and why they determine your identity through your mother's line, that is mitochondria that
Okay.
we're talking about. This is why we have to understand matriarchy, because it doesn't mean that the father's line does not have a role. It
Okay.
but the understanding your father's bloodline gives you one birthright, and understanding your
Mm,
mother's gives you another. We gotta see that this is not just a task that we're doing, that many of us are doing, and for some of us it will save our lives.
we need to know this information because, like you said, it could save our lives.
Mhm.
A lot has been taken away from us, and we've forgotten.
Tracy Kamek says, so is dancing. Yes, dancing is a form of prayer. That's
Wow.
why you see people doing the dance and the shout. It is a form of prayer. This is why some traditions, the Akan, the Yoruba, the Vodun, there's a dance. You dance and you communicate with spirit. And so this is, this is a beautiful way. So the way that we have been taught to as a one path to God, there are many paths, many
Mhm.
ways. And so if you've only known one way and judged it or been afraid of it, perhaps tonight this is your invitation to explore how can you communicate with God differently.
Mhm.
Because if God is in you, then that means that everything that you do, you're standing on holy ground.
Come on. We had the sermon. We just had an invitation. Nothing left, nothing left but the benediction. Let me see. Any more questions? Oh, somebody
somebody
says,
somebody asked about why are we praying. Well,
okay.
don't do it. If you don't need to, then don't do it. You ain't
Mhm.
got to. You got a choice. But when as metaphysicians, we are not praying to anything outside of us. Metaphysicians are praying to affirm the God frequency within us. So
Mm.
essentially we are having a conversation with ourselves. There is a universal power seeking an outlet through me. The instrument of this power is my mind. Today I believe in the power, is right with that's a prayer.
Mm.
How do you pray? If you still begging, moaning, and pleading, then that is praying, Preying. That's a different
Mm.
kind of prayer.
Mm.
That's not the same kind of prayer. When we pray in Yoruba, when we pray in the Lukumi tradition, we speak the names of our ancestors and the living priests, and we speak to the principalities of nature. So whose prayers are you talking about, beloved?
Mm. Wow.
Because ancient people, we pray through music, through instruments, through sound. And what about the person who can't talk? How do they pray?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
We got to take the limits off of God, which is taking the limits off of ourselves.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
I think we can end with that.
Okay, yeah, y'all getting me started all over again.
I mean, I got time if you got time, but I know it's been almost 4 hours. Is it appropriate to ask for a prayer or an ashe from you before we leave?
Oh, okay. They say in the road world, be ever ready when called upon.
That's what my pastor used to tell us preachers too. You got to
Yeah,
always be ready. You got to
yeah,
always
yeah,
be
yes.
studied.
So yes, I can say a prayer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. So I just want all of you to just bring to mind your ancestors, those names that we call, those mothers, those grandmothers, those grandfathers, the benevolent spirits, the ones who walk with us, our spirit guides who talk with us, the ones who knew our name, and the ones whose names we know, we call them forth to walk with us, to talk with us, to reveal to us. And we acknowledge that there is a universal power seeking an outlet through us. The instrument of this power is our mind. Today, we believe that the power is right where we are. We call on this power of our mitochondria. We call upon this open door to our Akashic records to remember. And we give thanks that right now we are not worried about how it comes, but that it comes, and that we are available to it, to use it wisely. Help us, Holy Spirit, in us, as us, through us, to know that we are amplifying more of God in us, that there is nothing to heal, that there's only more God to be revealed. And so we thank you for the divine revelation that is us, as us, and through us. And we let it be so. And so it is. Ashe.
Ashe. That was beautiful. Thank you. Brother Marlon just wanted to let you know before we end, he meant no harm. He was just wanting to know.
I didn't. What did he say? What did I say?
The prayer,
Oh,
why are
okay.
we praying?
Okay. That wasn't really for you. Sometimes I'm talking to another spirit.
I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, Reverend Dr. LaTonia Taylor, it has been my great pleasure. It has been an honor, and it's been a joy having you on the show. Thank you so
Too.
much.
It's been such an honor to be in your presence and to expand the conversation of our wealth, because
Yes.
we have a lot of it
Mm.
and we just need to remember. So thank you to all of you who stayed, all of you who connected, and please, I thank you for all who sent cash apps, love offerings, who did the download. It's an honor to be in this space. Thank you for having me, Dr. Kia.
You're welcome. And thank you, Soul Tribe, for being here. I want to extend my gratitude to you all too. Thank you for all the questions and the conversations in the chat. It's been very, very good, very enriching. And we're happy that it's that our sister was able to minister to your soul and to your spirit. We talk about wealth a lot. We talk about geopolitics and all those things, but what really matters is you. You, how you're doing, how you're faring. Are you well? Are your relationships mended?
Yeah.
And so that's why we brought the ordained minister, certified coach, master teacher. She works in healing, holistic mind, body, soul, spirit, the whole person. She does that. So we wanted to make sure we offered this to you. Make sure you go to her link, please. I put all her links in the description section of this video. Please download the book and contact her, reach out to her if there's a service that you need. So having said that, family, good night. I love you all. Sleep well and safe travels in your dreams.
Ashe.
Peace, family. Good night.